This is the President McCormack Podcast with your host, Mark McCormack.
Everybody, welcome to the podcast. Today we have Demi and Bret Engemann. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, excellent.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
So, let's kick it off with a fun question. How long have you guys been married?
We've been married for a year and 4 months and 3 days and 23 hours.
Dude, if that's true, that is
that
impressive.
Let me check. Yep.
About a year and 5
Spot
months.
on.
Almost a year and a half.
Yeah, so we got married on April 3rd, 2021. 4321. Is that not the coolest
Oh,
date?
that's cool. Yeah.
Isn't that sick? One of us needs to tattoo it on us. That's
Yes,
like
you
an
do.
anomaly.
Do
Yeah,
either
it
of you
is.
have a tattoo?
Yes. Both of us do.
You both have tattoos?
Yeah.
We do. He's nervous over here. He's like,
Oh, I'm not.
is my dad
I
gonna
have
hear
one.
this?
I have one. It's for her.
Or
and
my
it says
boy's
her.
gonna hear this. He has his boys convinced it's pen a year later.
Every day you just like rewrite it?
Yeah. I have really good handwriting.
Well, I am currently on the list. Sorry, Mom. To get a full sleeve done next October.
You're just going to
way.
go right into a full sleeve.
Whole thing.
I want
I'm
him to
working
do
with a
one
really
so bad.
famous one. Yeah.
They're
Well, he's
so
good looking,
sick.
man. I'm not
You
trying-
are too.
Well, thank you very much, but
So wait,
levels
do
of
you
this
have the artwork for it? What do you...
yeah, dude, I've actually got a couple portraits. So the girl that's going to do her name's Kat. She's down in Las Vegas, and she has amazing portrait stuff. So it's just going to be a full sleeve of my kids, my wife, my parents potentially. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do that or not. I think it would be super dope. I have like a picture of them from the 70s. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of a cool tribute, you know?
You have to.
Yeah. My
That's
dad, I
sick.
think deep down loves tattoos, but my mom hates them. So yin and yang.
Yeah. Yeah, you are you going to go from the wrist to the top of the shoulder?
I think so. I
No
think
fear
I'm
of like
established
body claustrophobia.
Didn't know that was a thing. What is that?
He does know.
Well, so my biggest hesitation was I put it in a spot that I don't necessarily always see, and where I could put it under a watch if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Just because I always felt like I would, if I went too big, or if I had it somewhere where I could constantly see it, I feel like it was like a reminder that I was trapped in a body. I don't know why, or like it was like an eternal thing that was stuck on my skin.
Yeah.
My brain thinks kind of weird, but she's the same way.
Yeah.
So she got it in.
I got them in places that I don't see them regularly, but I don't know.
I'm going to guess. Do you have one in your ribcage?
Oh, I'm that girl.
Oh.
I'm that
No, I'm just
girl.
good at this game.
Yes, I have one right here, and then I have one on the back of my neck. So I literally never see either of them.
Yeah.
And I have this one and then low mid back, just a sun.
Butterfly.
Yeah.
Look at the sun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
When a butterfly is inside the sun.
See, I'm told never to get that drunk in Mexico. So, for that very reason. Get the summer solstice on there or something, right?
I know. I saw this TikTok last night that every margarita I think you buy, you get a free tattoo. I'm like, think of the people there just getting so drunk. And with everyone you get a free tattoo. And so they're just constantly there giving tattoos.
Yeah. A free tattoo.
Yeah, think of the tattoo.
Not something I would ever. It's like getting free dental work.
Yeah. Yes, please. I've been here for you. I've been here for you.
Not that kind of work.
Yeah. So I was down there with my family, went on a cruise. So we went over like Cozumel, I think. Is that the island?
Mm-hmm.
The island one?
Yeah.
And
Think so.
we were like having lunch or whatever, right? And there was a lady next to us, dude, literally getting her breast tattooed. And we were like, it's just like, am I actually seeing this? Bret was there. Bret,
Was he?
My little brother, Bret.
Yeah.
What did he say?
We just laughed. I mean, what else you say, right?
Yeah.
The woman she was yelling at her husband over something. There was a lot of margaritas rolling around. We were just eating, tacos with my family. So,
Were your parents there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, mom and dad was there. They
Are they-
pretended they didn't see.
Yeah.
Just like when I watched Titanic when I was like 15 for family home evening. Yeah, we were pretending that scene didn't exist.
Oh, the painting scene.
Yeah, the painting
Yeah.
scene. Yeah.
We reenacted that the other day. That was nice.
Did you really?
No.
Got your charcoal out? You're just like,
We should, though.
you should, man. 18 months, man. You guys just on the honeymoon phase. You guys haven't gotten a fight yet. Dude, it's pretty awesome.
0 fights.
Yeah, we don't fight. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, why fight? You know?
Just once a day.
Yeah, we always have our one fight a day, and when it's coming up and we feel it kind of brewing, we're like, oh, this is it. Here we go.
Yeah.
She's really good at saying she's sorry, though.
Are you?
Every
Are you the
time.
first one to me? Say you're sorry.
I am really good at it,
you
so
are.
I'm
I'm just
confused
kidding.
by the sarcasm.
You are. I'm just trying to infer that I'm the one that's always right.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that was a joke, obviously. It was not a very good one.
We're both pretty good at apologizing. I feel like I need more time, just naturally as a woman.
Yeah.
Like I need more time to process my emotions, and I do have like a very short fuse, and so I know that about myself, and I am trying to work on lengthening the fuse. I know that that's like the underlying issue, but because I know that it's short, I will take more time to process my emotions and kind of go through everything on my own, and then I'll go to and have the conversation, just so I don't like say things I regret, or like, you know, so that I can go in with a level head. And he doesn't like that. He's like,
I just
want
to fix it as soon as I possibly can.
Yeah, he hates the turmoil. He's like, I'm sick to my stomach. I don't like this feeling. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Me too. But I don't want to say anything I'm going to regret. And I want to say what I mean, not like what I'm feeling in the moment. And so I take the time to just, even if it's like, sometimes it's 5-10 minutes or sometimes it's a day, but most of the time it's like 5-10-15 minutes. And I'm just like doing my breath work in the other room, calming my nervous system, a quick cold shower. And then I'll be like, okay, let's talk.
And I'm learning how to give her space.
Yeah.
So
Oh, there you go.
He was like a little puppy dog in the beginning. And I was like, this isn't going to work. I'm too independent for this.
Yeah. See, my wife and I'm more like you, way more like you. I never say anything I don't mean. You know what I mean? I'm a little more in the moment. I kind of like the turmoil. I don't mind a little aggressive. But my wife, she, I think it was the way she was raised a little bit, which was awesome. But she's a little passive aggressive. So when she's real mad at me, she says hurtful things, and I have to deal with it. That's part of
what's
it.
the most hurtful thing she's ever said to you?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
You don't have to answer that.
I would. I just can't think of it. She called me a patronizing son of a bitch once and then choked me.
Choked you?
Yeah. That's a fun story. She will
Let's
laugh
hear
her
it.
brains out. So we were in an argument downstairs. It's 2:00 in the morning, right? And I was sitting on a chair. She was laying on a couch, and we were going at it, you know, like kind of like the soft married going at it, right? Like not quite yelling, right? But like saying like, well, yeah, well, it's because you're stupid, you know? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And she said something. I go, well, that's because I'm not retarded. And she freaking jumps off the couch and comes flying at me. She goes, you patronizing son of a bitch. And I was like, oh gosh. And I like turned my face to like take the punch, right? And then literally she just like reached, she came over and like stopped, and I kind of like opened my eye. And then she like started choking me, right? And like it didn't do much. So literally we started laughing, right? I started laughing, she started laughing because she got crazy. Yeah. Right? She got real crazy. And
But in the moment, she was actually being serious.
oh, she was serious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I full on thought, I'm like, oh dude, I deserve this a little bit, and this is gonna freaking hurt potentially because she had little hands, you know.
When the words were coming out that you knew were going to offend her, were you feeling like I should probably reach back and grab those, or did you just thought, nope, I'm going to let it
those
fly?
are the ones that got her.
Yeah.
I was a little shocked. I was like, well,
Yeah.
you know, but she doesn't like me to question her intelligence.
Yeah.
So, but I
women
mean,
don't.
honestly, you know, we made up real quick and went to bed. We don't do any late night activities after we get in a fight. Just we're too mad.
So you go to bed mad.
No, we went to bed happy,
Okay.
but just not happy enough to want to give each other a back scratchers, you know,
Yeah.
cuddle or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another topic, and I know it's controversial. Do you ever go to bed mad? Do you ever feel like there's a time and place that's just like, we're exhausted, let's not talk about it tonight, and just go to bed? Or do you always resolve it before you go to bed?
No, there's been times we've gone to bed mad. Yeah. No, I think it's, I think we know, right? I mean, when you're fighting with your spouse or anybody really, right? You kind of like gotta, if you're not in a place to solve it right then yeah, I think it's better just to go to bed. Pretty rare though. I mean, we've been married for 18 years, so we're like, which seems insane because I'm 40. I'm just like, what the hell was I thinking getting married so young, you know? But yeah, I mean, we probably do like a monthly fight. You know, we kind of get into one, or maybe
It's
longer.
good.
than that,
Just
I don't
keeps
know.
things exciting, spicy.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not fighting a little bit, right, it's like, where's the passion?
Yeah, where's
know?
the passion and where's the progression? Like,
Yeah.
you need to disagree on some things. Even if it's just a disagreement, I feel like it's healthy.
Yeah. See, we're at the point where we can, we know each other's buttons like that, right? So, like, when we're arguing, it kind of stays in that like nice lane where we just kind of like disagreeing, but then like one of us wants to be like, well, you're stupid like your dad, like, you know,
Yeah.
or whatever, right? Not that my dad's stupid, you know, it's just one of those little Dane Cook hits.
She says that to you, or you said it to her?
Oh, never would I ever say that to her. Her dad's amazing.
Yeah.
No, she would never say that to me either. that comes from the Dane Cook stand-up, where like some mind ninja like joke that he drops, and he just goes, you know, the girl's like, when they're done fighting, she just goes, "You're stupid like your dad," and like he's like, "Ooh," and like walks away, like blows in his head later, like, what the hell? So one thing that's weird about me that I've realized over the years, I literally live in nothing but sequential inside jokes. So like everything I say is like an inside joke. And people, I've had people think that I made the joke up, and then later on I'm like, no, Cat Williams said that, or freaking Eddie Murphy said that like years ago, and they're like, oh, you're not as funny as I thought. You just repeat other people's crap.
Yeah, that can be awkward too, Mark. If people aren't in the know on the joke,
But
that can create a very, very awkward situation.
I kind of like that part. What about you? Are you?
That's very Michael Scott of you.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I might have a little bit of him in me. That's for sure. I declare bankruptcy. It's been a day. So, 18 months of marriage almost. Dude, 18 months, 18 years. That's weird.
What are the chances of that?
Yeah. I don't know. So where did you guys get married at? Was it beautiful? I mean, you guys are so good looking.
Mark. It was you take over. You talk about it.
Yeah, tell me about the actual wedding day.
It was perfect. Literally a fairy tale wedding, and so simple. We wanted to keep it small and quaint and intimate because we wanted to do something big down the road. It was so quick.
It was also kind of tail end of COVID as well.
Right. So
All right.
yeah, so we had the excuse of having a COVID wedding, which was nice because it kept things pretty intimate, pretty small. But it was perfect. And we actually wanted to throw like a massive reception after, and we never ended up doing it just because we're like, we're married. Like,
We still have a deposit down on a place up in
we
Salt Lake.
literally
We should
have a
probably
place.
get that back.
I'm like a party girl. I love throwing parties. I love throwing things. That's fun for me. So I almost would rather like maybe have a 5-year anniversary party and just go all out and just have it be massive and throw like a ball. Like I literally want people to show up in ball gowns and on horses. Like I want to do it like full Bridgerton style.
Oh, Bridgerton style.
Yes.
There we go. I had to watch a couple of those episodes.
Yeah,
You had to?
Because my wife was watching them, so if I wanted to hang out with her that night, we were watching Bridgerton.
Yeah.
Okay, the second
don't mind
season
it.
is so good though.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. I'll take your word for that.
Second season's really good. I liked the first season, but it was a little bit too slow. And then second season, every episode, I was just like hanging on everything.
Oh, good. Is the whole season out?
Yeah.
Because it's Netflix, right? Because it drops the whole thing. Yeah. See, I haven't started watching Westworld season 4 or whatever we're in because I need to watch the whole thing.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what Westworld is?
No.
Brett?
I just found out what Prison Break was 2 days ago.
Stop.
So
Really?
We just
I'm a little
started
behind,
it. We literally are like 6 episodes. I've seen the whole thing.
Yeah.
He hasn't seen it, and I'm like,
Have you seen all the seasons?
Yes.
Okay, do they get better? Because the first season was amazing, and then the second season was the writers when they all went on strike, right? Do
Oh, I don't know.
you remember? It was, dude, that's an old show. I was watching when I was first married.
Oh, I was 17, like making out with my boyfriend on the couch watching that show.
Prison Break? Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, it was incredible. And I'm like, wait, was it the makeout or was it Prison Break?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
it was the show.
It was the show. Must have been the show, yeah. I'll second that.
No, I do remember like we would get our snacks and it was like enthralled in Prison Break. We loved it. But I don't remember like second season being weird, but also I was 17. So not like a fully developed brain judging. But I have been a little bit nervous because it's the first couple episodes were a little cringy. And so I was like, crap, is this as good as I remember it? I was 17, you know, but everyone raves about it. Like everyone I talk to, they're like, oh, how incredible was Prison Break. So I think it gets better. I mean,
I'm into it. I like
love
it. Yeah.
I really liked Prison Break. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of interesting, right? His whole body's tattooed with the map and the... What's his name? His real name?
Wentworth something.
Ah, it's something. Wentworth Miller,
Yeah.
right? Wentworth
Yeah.
Miller.
There you go.
Yeah, he's a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
About
is.
me and good-looking dudes.
Well, like a moth to a flame. I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
Is that a thing?
Okay, hold
I
on.
don't know.
We've skipped over something here. That is
Yeah.
a moth to the flame, Janet. Janet Jackson, right?
That's right.
There we go. I'm going to explain my inside jokes as we go through this. Okay, so we skipped over something. Westworld. How have you guys not seen Westworld?
I have never even heard of it. What is it?
Seriously?
No.
So it's an HBO show. You haven't heard of it either? Dude, it's an AI simulation. So we're in the 4th season, but so these people like go to Westworld, which is like a Western, and they can do whatever they want, like anything they want, right? But
Like the Old West?
Like the Old
Okay.
West, yeah. But when they get there, they can take these. They're basically robots, right? They're artificially intelligent robots, and then the robots take over the park, and then they escape into the real world. It's set into the future a little bit. It's really
Who's in it?
Anthony Hopkins is in it right off the bat.
Oh, okay.
But spoiler alert, of course, it's like 4 seasons in. He dies like in the first couple episodes. He's the creator of the whole world.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to remember all the girls. The main girl used to be Marilyn Manson's girlfriend.
I know who you're talking about.
Not
Dark
remember her
hair.
name. No, Blondie.
Oh,
No, you're thinking of Dita Von Teese.
yeah.
No, it's the Rachel Evan Woods. So she's also a fantastic singer. I think she sings most of the songs on like Frozen. And so, anyways,
Interesting.
that may or may not be right.
You sing Frozen with
Have you
mods.
seen Frozen?
I've seen Frozen. I am so bad with names. Like it's incredible how you guys are able to be like, oh yeah, that person. I don't, like, you could say Leonardo DiCaprio and that would be a hard one for me. Like, I'm so bad with remembering celebrities' names. Like, I'll have a full crush on them and I'm like, I don't know their
I was
names.
going to say, it's not even a bad thing though.
Yeah.
Right? Just like, that dude.
They're just
Whatever.
people.
The crush is a bad thing, though.
Yeah. Okay, Justin Bieber's the one crush that I do remember, but
Is he still,
I'm saying
is he
growing
still your
up.
crush?
I'm in love with him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's not a crush. It's like, Justin Bieber, if you're watching this, you're my soulmate.
I've heard he might.
He's acting surprised. Like, it's not like an everyday topic.
There's no surprise, but it's
Interest.
yeah, it's just it's not offensive. It's just interesting.
Yeah, that'll never die.
Which song got you?
It's not even just a song. It's just like, this is what I tell everyone. And then they're like, oh, I get it. And he takes it a little bit better this way because it's less of like a sexual, like lustful thing. It's more that I feel like we just connect. Like he connects
Except for
with
when
me.
she sees a song, a music video come out, and it's the first time, and she does things like, "Oh, I can't. I'm gonna need a minute." Biting her lips.
I've never done
I hate it when
that.
they say they can't because they really can.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
you can do
lie.
kind of gal, and it is not okay.
No, I've never done that. I get overwhelmed with love. Like, I truly am in love with him. It's weird. But I feel like this is what it stems from. So he and I are the same age. And so I feel like every stage of life just lined up so perfectly.
Yeah.
And I feel like someone's probably felt that way about a celebrity or, you know, like I'm sure there's someone along the way that they're just like, oh, I just feel like we're in the same stage of life. But every album he would release just perfectly went with my life.
Yeah.
And so I think it was like a combination of Justin Bieber is a badass and he is like so sick. Like he really is such a cool dude and he's so kind. And from everyone that I've talked to that has met him, just think that he's incredible, except for one. Taylor Frankie Paul apparently didn't have a good experience with him on the slopes. But everyone else I've talked to have said that he's just super cool, just a humble, sweet guy, other than when he went through his super reckless phase.
Yeah.
But like that was through my reckless phase too. So I'm like, don't judge him. Like I know what that's like, you know?
I don't like him.
You don't like him at all?
Not one bit. No, I actually do.
Okay.
I like him.
I was gonna
I
say-
think he's a great performer. Great.
Yeah, he's a great performer.
seems like a good
It's not
person.
like he doesn't.
He's an okay performer, but his music's good.
He's an incredible performer.
Dancing wise or singing wise?
Both.
Both.
And just connecting. Like you could literally, he could do his weird ass moves all day long. The way he connects with the crowd is incredible. Like I
Yeah.
feel, except for I will say I was a little disappointed in the last concert we went to. It was when Haley was going through her health issues, and he was just kind of like, "Hello, are you there?" And that was a little disappointing because that was my first concert, and
Okay,
I
that's-
was hyped up.
Was that here?
She was hyperventilating, almost hyperventilating before we got there.
Yeah.
No, he. Here's my thing with him. I love his acoustic album. right? So like that one he did with just that one guy where he just sings all the songs acoustic. Like Beauty and the Beat, right? It's on like my top 25 most played songs on my phone for sure, right? But I hate the song Baby, right? Like it's okay.
You can't go back that far.
Yeah, well, I'm just kind of giving you my thing. You're right. I probably should let that die. But like some of his newer stuff is great. Like what's the song where they're in Iceland where he's just like running around in Iceland?
The Purpose?
No, I
Purpose?
think it's older than that. It starts up My Life is a Movie. My life is a movie.
Yeah, that's change or no, that's that's the Purpose album. No. Hold on, we gotta look it up.
While you're looking that up, I cannot remember, but I love the music video. I'm actually going to Iceland in November.
This is when he was in his underwear.
I'm a little sad.
Who are you going with? Is Bret going with you?
No, I'm going with the We Are the They group.
Ah.
So there's like 40 of us going, and then I'm flying Michelle up the day before we get done. So her and I will spend an extra 5 or 6 days there.
Are you going to jump off of an iceberg this time?
No. I keep on joking with Jimmy. I'm like, dude, what crazy ass thing are we doing this time?
Yeah.
And he's just like, nothing. We're just going to go snowmobiling and see the lights. And I'm like, what? We're not going to like fight a polar bear? Or
Have you talked about that on your podcast yet? What you did?
I have. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember which guest I talked about it with.
Well, I'm trying to figure out. So you were attached to a rope.
4
ropes.
4 ropes. I'm 320.
Okay. So that makes me feel a little bit better. But even still, the last rope gets tied. You're the first one to go.
I was the first one to go.
And you're 310 pounds, 20 pounds.
10. Let's go 10. Yeah. By the time people hear this, I'll be 310.
Are you, what, were the type of knots that were tied, did that kind of go through your head at all? The capability of the knot tire?
No, which is stupid. Right. So here's the thing. So
I mean,
it was funny.
you effectively, you put your life in the hands, literally put your life in the hands of, was it the same guy that tied all 4?
Yeah. So they go out the day before, and I guess they set it up and they go a couple times. But these guys are 185 pounds. You know what I mean? Like there's no one my size for sure. And so there's a whole story of me jumping off, right? So I actually fought it, right? So when I joined the We Are the Day, I was talking to Jimmy. He's like, dude, you gotta be in this group, man. It'd be so much fun.
Well, I remember talking to you the day before, and you're like, I'm not jumping.
The hell no.
No way. Yeah.
Dude, the night before we jumped, I was like, not doing this.
Yeah.
Like, I will not do this. And like Jimmy gave this whole speech, like this whole thing. And I'm sitting in the crowd. There's 50 of us, right? I didn't want to argue with him because it's kind of a dickhead thing to do, right? He's my boy. So I'm just like, sitting there just like, give your speech, but I ain't doing it, right? I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I knocked my CPAP machine off.
No.
Oh yeah, I have to sleep with the CPAP machine.
Why don't you get one of those things?
What things?
The things you put in your mouth.
Oh, well, these are so much better. It just pumps air in you. Oh, dude, it's the best sleep.
Plus,
ever.
they're sexy. His wife loves
They're
it.
so sexy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's not bad. Yeah, it's way sexy. So I popped that thing off, and I was like, I just could not sleep. And I'm like, I just kept on thinking, I'm like, dude, Mark, if you don't freaking do this, like, there's gonna be a couple guys that don't do it because you don't do it, and it's gonna kind of spoil this for everybody. And you're here with your friends group, and like, you could be a leader of this if you wanted to, or like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be a dickhead if I don't jump, right? And I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to freaking do this. You know what I mean? I don't care. I can do whatever I want. You know what I mean? I built my life so I can do whatever I want. And then like a little inner voice in me just goes, just shut the hell up and jump off this thing. And I was like, fine. Right? And so then I laid there. We left at like 6 o'clock in the morning to go over there, right? And I'm like, oh, if I'm going to do this, I better go first. Because I'm not going to like the anxiety of just sitting there watching dudes drop off this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Now, there's a real bad side of me going first. I have a 3-second video of me jumping off that thing because the camera guys weren't ready. So everyone else has like these drones that are following them, and it's all these beautiful like jumping off this cliff. It's all this whole thing, right? So anyway, so we get there, and do you know who Ryan Bingham is? So he's one of my buddies who's in the group. He played for the Chargers for 7 years. He's a defensive lineman, right? And he's me and him just we're just bros, right? And so before I go, hey man, I want you to do something for me. Like I want to get that Michigan circle going, and I want to like have you in the middle, just like go full Ray Lewis, dude. Just like pump this thing up, because it's like the closest thing that I could do to like really be like in a football game. You know, kind of like vicariously live through this. So we do that, and it was awesome. You know, just like the let's freaking go and just going crazy, and everyone's just going bananas, right? And as we get to the middle to like kind of like do a little cheer or whatever, dude, my body's screaming like, do not do this, dude. Don't do it. And I'm in a harness already, right? Jeez. Like, don't do it, Mark. What are you doing? What the hell? And I'm like, I just go walking over there to this guy. Like, I'm literally getting the chills thinking about it right now because I'm like, what am I doing? I didn't look over the side. I didn't look at the ropes. I didn't look at the rigging. I just thought, okay, I'm just going to go do this thing. So you walk up to him and he says basically like, hey, look, you walk up to him and then he walks. It's like 2 parts, right? And he goes, okay, I'm going to come over there. I'm going to hook all these ropes on you. And then you're going to hit this arrow and jump off. But before that, you're going to say, get out of my way. And when you say that, what you're really saying is, I represent like your old self, right? All the bad things, the good things, like everything. This is like a rebirth, like a baptism. And I'm kind of listening to him just like, whatever. Like, just hook me up. I got to get this over with, you know? Like, I'm like mission oriented at this point. And so I walk up to him. And he clips me in, and there's tension on those things, right? So it actually kind of pulls you forward, even me. Like, it's kind of pulling you. And you kind of hold on to it like this, and you're like, dude, I can't believe I'm hooked up. You know what I mean? And I look at him, and he goes, what do you want to say to me? And I go, get out of my way. And he, like, just stands to the side. I take one, like, freaking step, and I just jumped. And, dude, I literally jump off, and I'm probably 30 feet down, and I'm like, I cannot believe I just jumped off this thing. And then I'm sitting there like, I can't believe this thing hasn't caught me yet. Like, dude, you free fall for like 4 seconds.
Did
like,
your stomach drop?
Down. No, weird. It was weird. It was all in my head. I was just like, it was so intense that it was just in my head.
Happened so fast, but you had a million thoughts go through your mind like you were in slow motion.
Yeah, and instead of me jumping straight, I actually jumped to the side because I like pivoted and like went off, right? Like I cut like as a running back. So I go flying down and it catches me and it was so serene, right? It was so weird. I'm just like, wow, this is cool. And it's like, as I'm jumping off, there's like 25, 30 guys behind me just screaming like, yes, yes. You can kind of hear on the video, right? That disappears after like 2 seconds. And it's just like absolutely silent. All you can hear is the wind, right? And it's like a 200, 300 foot drop, something like that. Like it's deep. And as I go to crest out, it's really smooth, right? And you really slow down, right? Because then you start coming backwards. And I felt the need to cry. And I was just like, no, I'll cry. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem crying. I cry in almost every Disney movie anyways, right? And my body just cut that off. And I just literally said out loud, I go, I'm proud of you. I was like, what the heck? And I just like started swinging back towards the area. And I'm like, I'm proud of myself. That's weird. I've like never said that out loud.
Huh.
You know?
That is so cute and wholesome. I need to cry.
Kind of crazy, huh? So then,
I want to do that.
Oh, you should do it. Everyone should do it.
That's incredible.
And of all the success you've had in your life, that's the first time that you allowed yourself to feel proud of yourself.
I think
or
so.
Is that that's the first time you audibly said it?
Probably audibly said it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. The first time I've said it.
Yeah.
And I'll probably never say it again because who says they're proud of themselves? It's kind of weird.
You should be saying that every morning. You should.
Maybe, yeah, some affirmations.
My daughter actually said it to herself this morning in the mirror and last night.
Did she really?
Oh, yeah. I have her do it every single morning, every night. I was bad through the summer, but school starts, I'm like, no, we're back on the affirmation train. You should do that literally every single day. Words matter.
I'll make a commitment to you. I'll do it for the next 10 days in a row.
Do it.
I love
it.
Does to me.
I love it.
And he really will. That's
I
the crazy
know.
thing.
I can
What
feel
day are
that.
you into 75 hard?
Oh, gosh, 75 hard. Honestly, I think I'm like day 40.
That's incredible.
Is it 40? Let's see. I'm going to tell you right now. It is day 39.
That's incredible.
I'm past halfway now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 75 hard's a weird thing. Have you guys done it?
Yeah,
We did 6 hard.
No.
6 hard.
I've
11 hard.
I've done it without you one time, and I think I made it like 25 days. But I need to do it. It's really good for just being able to
definitely
commit
builds
to
habits.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. My thing, so like day 8, 9, 10, I was like really pissed. Right? I'm like, dude. One of those moments where it's like, why am I doing this? Not quite the cliff. That was like me screaming in my soul, like, why are you doing this, right? Mm-hmm. This is more like, dude, I've worked out twice a day for 8 days. Like, when's my break? And then you look at your little map, right? That's like all the red days, and it's like, I've barely done anything. Like 8 days out of 75 is nothing. And I was kind of complaining about it. And like, when it was like my wife and some other friends, and I was like, listen, I texted them all and I said, if you let me complain one more time about this, I will not consider you a friend. And I just sent that text, right? And they're like, whoa, and I'm like, no, I'm dead serious. Like, tell me to shut the hell up. I shouldn't be complaining about this. But I still complain a little bit.
Come on.
But gosh, dude.
Good for you.
And you've done everything. You haven't messed up one time.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a habit right now, like,
yeah.
There's been a couple days I've done like double walks, you know, like I overtrained a little bit, like my shoulders and my back. So like it was kind of hard to like go to the gym and like pump iron for a minute. So like I just do like 2 walks in a day, or I've done a couple hikes that took like 5 hours. The thing that's crazy is, so I've got a lot of people that are doing it with me and they like want to support me. So I'll do my morning workout in my basement, and then I'll go after work, and then sometimes I'll play basketball. So one time I did it in the morning. I went to the gym after work with some friends. And then my wife wanted to go on a walk, right, during Nixon's football tryouts, which is supposed to be 45 minutes and turned into like an hour and 10, right? And then I went and played basketball for 2.5 hours. I'm like, dude, I have worked out today like 8 hours.
Yeah.
Well, probably 6 to 8 hours. And then like the next day, it's like if you don't quite get it all in, you're just like, shit, I gotta go do a 45-minute workout right now, or like it doesn't count. So.
Isn't it so crazy to think, like sometimes I'll be like, man, I was just at the gym, I'm active. And then you're like, 10 years ago, it wasn't even a thing you thought of. You literally were just like on the go constantly.
Yeah.
And if you think about like what keeps you young, it's doing what you did when you were younger. Like constantly moving, not sitting down, not taking breaks, on to the next friend, doing this, doing that, going to play, going to, you know, play some sort of sport, going to dance, going swimming. Like you're constantly on the move. Like that's youth, you know?
Yeah.
So it's funny how it becomes a chore as you get older, because you're more tired and you want to do more adult things. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the key to staying young, is just tapping into the things you did when you were younger, just constantly going. Like what you're explaining, it sounds like a lot for an adult, but it sounds like you're a kid, you know?
Right.
It's like,
yeah,
oh
exactly.
yeah, you're
it's like
just
I went to school for a minute, then we're playing ball or doing whatever.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
So how's your body responded to this in terms
good,
of
man.
composition? It looks like you're leaner than the last time I saw you, for sure.
Yeah. I'm down about 20 pounds. So I'll probably, which is pretty good, you know, 39 days.
Oh, good for you. That's awesome.
About half a pound a day. Something like that. So
that's incredible.
Yeah, my goal is to get to 280. So I want to be to 280 by the end of the year.
You haven't been 280 since like kindergarten.
Yeah. 4th grade. Yeah, no, 280 for me is really lean though. Like I'm probably like 10% body fat, 9% body fat probably.
Are you serious?
Lean.
Yeah, I'm super lean at 280. Yeah. Like
in
for
the
me to
single
get to
digits?
260, dude, I'd have to like get cancer or something. Like I'd have to be like something would have to physically be wrong with me.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What's been the hardest part?
Never getting a break.
So it's not one specific thing, like the gallon of water or the 2 or the diet.
Is your wife doing it with you?
Yeah.
She is.
Michelle's doing it with me. She's paid. That's making it a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's
and she's stuck with it.
Oh yeah, it's easy for her though. She freaking. So my thing, honestly, the water. I drink a gallon of water every day, no matter what. Like if we go to the gym for 45 minutes, I will easily drink half a gallon of water. I just do it. I don't know. I just have this huge glass at my desk, and I just have ice and water in it all the time. I'm always sipping. Mm-hmm. Some people, it's really hard. Like girls, it's really hard to get a gallon.
It is so hard for me.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult.
She has to mask it with all sorts of sugar-free syrups from Swig.
Crystal Lights and stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I'm like 9 o'clock at night. Like I can do this shaking, twitching, and then I'm peeing like all through the night.
Oh yeah.
But I feel I have heard that the longer you do it, the more your body will tolerate it. So I just need to push through it and do it.
One of my firefighter buddies told me that everybody's about a liter of water shy of what your optimally should be. So like drinking a ton of water is really, really good. Yeah. So it also helps you stay in a diet too, right? Mm-hmm. Now my diet, I didn't do a crazy diet. I did 3,800 calories, which is like what the little micro thing told me I needed to be. And then I try and eat 175 grams of protein every day. So the cheat meal thing, I don't really have, like if I wanted to have like one slice of pizza or something like that, which I haven't done that. I ate pretty clean, but if I wanted to, I would just take that off the calorie count. Because I couldn't go like crazy on the diet, or like I would have given up, you know, because it's just too much.
Well, it's just like pick a diet and stick to it. So you could literally say, oh, intuitive eating, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's all about mindset. It's less to do about the diet and everything. I feel like it's more just, like you said, creating good habits and sticking to something, building the confidence so that you can do hard things. That's what I think 75 Hard is about.
Oh, yeah. No, the mindset's 100% true. In fact, you asked me what the hardest part is, I should say mindset. Because it's, like the way I grew up is like, you know, you do something really awesome, reward you with food, right? Or like, you did something really, really hard, well, let's get you some food because you must be hungry. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And now that I'm a little more, I don't know, privileged in life, you know what I mean? It's like, Like, why don't I get a break? Like, I can have a break whenever I want. And so, but with this, you have to like surrender to it. You know, like your mind has to be like, nope, for 75 days, we're just doing this like crazy. The hardest part, honestly, of this whole thing, my day like 69 through 70, 68 through 74, I'm going to be at Lake Powell. Like my vacation with like my family, my friends, and my, you know, on this houseboat. I'm just like,
what are you going to do for that? Just count like wakeboarding as your workout?
I'm gonna go swimming every morning. So, which
good.
I like to do anyway. So I'm just gonna go on the channel and just time it, you know.
Yeah.
And probably do a hike.
Yeah.
Probably do a hike every day.
There you go.
For the 2 workouts, because I can't really think of anything else. When I went down in May, my friend Luke, he'll laugh at this, but he wanted to do push-ups every day. That bro was knocking out like 150 push-ups every morning, which, by the way, takes like 15 minutes for him. So, you know, you still have 30 more minutes of crap you'd have to do, right? You have to go for 45. So, but it's mostly not partying all week is going to be the hardest part, because we party a little bit when we go to Lake Powell. It's kind of fun. So.
And there's no alcohol.
No alcohol.
No, what is it? No alcohol.
So no alcohol, no cheat meals.
No cheat meals.
And then, which I don't know what a cheat meal is. Well, I guess, you know, if you're eating like a keto diet or something, you'd have to not have a cheesecake or something. But yeah, they get you do a gallon of water, stick to a diet, read 10 pages every day, which that's super easy for me.
Yeah, you're a reader, right?
Yeah, when I go to work every morning, I normally read for about an hour. And so I don't really read novels per se, but it's always financial crap, you know, or like something. So I have 2 books at work and I have 1 book at home that I'm reading. And so I just kind of bounce back and forth between them.
Yeah. What are you reading right now?
So I'm reading a book by Mark McCormack, right? Not me.
No way.
It's called Never Wrestle with a Pig. Yeah.
Okay, I've heard that's a good one.
You know what IMG modeling is, right? The agency, IMG.
Yeah.
It's like the biggest modeling agency in the world.
Yeah.
They have like athletes and stuff. That was started by a guy named Mark McCormack.
No way.
And so he wrote the book, What They Don't Teach You in Harvard Business School, and Never Wrestle with a Pig, which is just business advice.
I've heard that one's incredible.
It's good. It's really good. Yeah, I've given it to a bunch of people. So, like, I had to buy me a book because I couldn't find mine. So I probably gave it to somebody. So, yeah, it's good. It's giving me some ideas. I'm going to do, I'm going to sit in front of a camera and give, you know, advice for like 40 minutes and chop it all up, you know, for like TikTok and stuff. And so I'm getting some ideas from that and making it my own and kind of, so that's kind of the reason I want to read that book.
Are you on TikTok?
I am, but just for fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No dancing for you?
No, not. Yeah, I kind of want to do some of those. I think it's kind of fun to do those things. Not that I'm going to dance, you know, but like, I don't know. Some of the challenges are fun.
No, you are going to dance, and we're actually going to do one today. You two. I'm going to teach you guys. I'm going to teach you guys the dance, and you guys are going to do it.
Okay.
That is my fee of being on the podcast today.
Well, I will pay it. So I have a rule that I started 3 years ago that I will say yes to anything as long as it's like not insanely unreasonable.
I love it.
So that's why I've been hiking, which I freaking hate doing. But every
I
time
hate
someone
it
asks me to
too.
go, I go.
Okay, I need to do that. I need to be a yes girl.
Yeah.
I feel like so many good opportunities come from saying yes, and I need to really tap into that. I love that. I love that you do that.
Yeah. Oh, it's the best.
You want to go on a hike?
I'm committing to being a yes girl right now.
You won't be able to ask her because your spouse is. Someone else has to ask her.
Oh, so that's the rule.
It's not the rule. It's just that you just like, because you'll say yes now, right? And then when times go, it's like, come on, bro, let's go do something else. Like, don't make me do this. And you'll be like, yeah, I don't like hiking either. It'll blow up, right? But if you commit to someone else, then you like have to go do it.
Okay, but we kind of made that commitment the other day because we were on our way to somewhere where we didn't really want to go.
Yeah.
But I had committed 2 days before. And I just said, okay, this is a continual problem that we have where we get in the moment. Actually, we had a really good conversation with my ex-husband. We're super close to him. And we were all in Idaho together. And we were on the drive home. And he said something that just like struck a chord with me in a good way. And I was just like, okay, we need to do this. He said, emotions are fleeting. And so if you act on every single emotion, you're not acting on like what you truly committed to or what you truly want as the end goal. Yeah. And so we're in this moment and I'm like, I don't really want to go either. And he's like, do we have to go? And I'm like, okay, let's go back to like this feeling and this emotion we're having right now is fleeting, right? Like it's going to come and it's going to go. if we go based on what our end goal is, which is to maintain good relationships, to have a good relationship ourselves, to have happy, healthy kids, and like create this lifestyle that we want, and we keep that in mind rather than the fleeting moments, that's going to get us to our end goal way quicker than like doing the zigzag of like acting on every emotion. And so we kind of committed to that the other day, where we were just like, if we commit to something and we say yes, it doesn't matter if we wake up and go, I'm tired, or I'm not feeling it, or like, oh, I don't want to do this. Wake up and go, we committed, so you might as well align your emotion to that commitment. And so we kind of, in a way, did commit to doing that. But I do want to be better about, even with you, like when you're like, do you want to do this? He's so good about that. Like if I'm like, hey, I'm going to go run my daughter somewhere, or I'm going to go to the pool, or I'm going to go run to the mall, I'm going to go do this. He's like, yep, okay. He's just like a yes guy. He'll go. He comes with me wherever. And then he'll be like, you want to come to the boys' football practice? I'm like, over my dead body. Nope, have fun. See you later. So even with him, I feel like I could be better, just at reciprocating that. But I feel like that is such a mood enhancer to just be like, I committed. It doesn't matter like what I'm feeling right now. 3 days ago, when I was in a good mood, when I was like happy and feeling good about it, I committed. So I might as well align myself today. And I feel like that could change the trajectory of the entire day as well. So I love that you do that. And I think we should commit to just being yes people. There's so many more opportunities that come from saying yes.
Within reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like he said, as long as it doesn't go against who you authentically are trying to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like
your morals or something like that.
Yeah, our morals and your standards and everything. Like, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, see, my thing is someone says, hey, you guys want to go on vacation? I'm like, sure, where are we going? Oh, well, yeah. You know, you almost shock people, right? Because it's just like, will you really go? It's like, absolutely. Go wherever you guys want.
Yeah.
Know? Or little weekend gigs, right? Like sometimes I'm like, I want to fly to Arizona for like 2 days. Like I'd rather go there for like 5, you know what I mean? But then it's like, no, let's just do this. Yeah, it is a pain in the ass to go through like the airport and like do all that kind of stuff. But you'll end up having like 3 or 4 moments down there with people you care about. And, you know, you can't take those memories away.
Absolutely.
So.
I love it.
It's time for you to buy a jet, Mark.
Gosh, I want one so bad. I kind of want one.
I challenge you to buy one.
Well, yes. Dude, one of the problems, so here's my problem with private jets. I'm 6'7", I'll be 280 soon, right? We call it 280.
9% body fat.
9% body fat, just freaking washboard abs. I'll have to beat everyone away from me. But dude, private jets, man, until you get up to like the $30, $40 million ones, I don't fit.
They're pretty cramped. Yeah.
And like, it's kind of cool. Right? But like, not really. I mean, you're like kind of sitting there all, you know, taking your freaking Instagram picture, kind of going like this, right? You know, I don't know. Like the King Airs, man. Every time I'm in the King Air, I'm just like, man, these things are small, you know?
It's so much more convenient, especially on short trips like Arizona or California.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I sound like I'm bashing on it. I would, if anyone invites me on a private jet, I'm like, yeah, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, sure, let's go do this thing. But like, yeah. I don't fit in a lot of stuff. People think it's cool to be big. It's not that cool. Yeah. 6'1" would be nice. How tall are you?
6'4".
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
You feel that way? You get in planes, you just like kill me now?
Yeah, but I'm not. What do you mean?
Like it's just
like it's just inconvenient?
Yeah.
No, I love it.
Yeah, good. It's just me.
No, I'm not. You're 3 inches taller than me, so I could understand. I mean, that's quite a bit. I can see how it could be inconvenient having to hunch down and.
Yeah. I'm
kind of on the border where I'm not. What I'm trying to say, Mark, is that you're too tall.
I am too tall.
No.
How do you fix it?
No, old age, you'll shrink.
Yeah,
you'll get down to 6'5".
Stop eating.
Yeah.
Dude, one time I was getting off of a plane and I hit my head on the exit sign. And the lady just goes, hey, watch your head. And I was just like.
A little too late.
I'm going to do my breathing exercises right now as I walk up the freaking, you know, whatever that thing's called.
Oh, my gosh.
But. I can't complain all that much, though.
I did?
You hit your head. He hit his head so hard on his son's car door.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I wasn't used to the height of the trunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here. If you want to zoom in.
Oh, when I was a kid, yeah, that'll be the thumbnail for the YouTube video.
Yeah.
Dude, when I was before my mission was terrible too. I went to Scotland, right? So it was like every doorway I'm like ducking under, right? I'm like Sean Bradley, basically. And then before I left on my mission, though, I was at a friend's house, and he was in a little bit of an older house, right? And we were down in the basement, all the lights were off, and they were playing video games. And I like walk in this room, and it was like weird because I heard this like humming, like, It was like, is it like the AC? It's like kind of weird. Dude, I take one more step, dude, and a ceiling fan hits me right here in the face, dude.
Oh.
Like 6 times because I didn't even know it was hitting me. So it was like, bam, bam, bam. I'm like freaking all disoriented. I fall backwards. Dude, it cut me. Like, cut me, dude. Blood down my face. And I was like, I hate being tall.
Jeez.
It's the worst because everyone's just walking into that, dude. And I took it right to the face. It's unfortunate.
Jeez.
Did you cry?
Did I cry? Heck no.
Oh.
I didn't cry until I started having kids. And all my emotions bottled up till then.
You didn't cry until the Disney movies started
Oh,
playing
dude.
regularly.
Have you guys seen the new
did.
Buzz Lightyear movie?
No. I heard it's very woke.
Yeah, it's not that woke.
Really? Oh, well, I heard wrong then. I heard it didn't do well.
I don't know what it actually did.
It bombed.
Did it bomb?
Did you like it though?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's so Buzz Lightyear is basically trying to fix everything, right? But to do that, he has to go in the future. And so every time he comes back, everyone's like 20 years older. And so like all of his friends pass away, and then their kids are there, and then like it's just kind of one of those. It's one of those things. If you look at it, it's like it just shows how fast your life could actually go by if you're not saying yes to things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, making memories and stuff.
Sounds depressing as hell. I'm
You
not
bring it
surprised you
together
cried.
in the end. Yeah. So let me ask you guys this then: what's the last movie you guys had a good cry in?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good question.
Where the crawdads sing?
Yes.
Oh,
Where the
I haven't seen
crawdads sing, it's incredible.
Where, not why.
But why do they?
Where the crawdads sing.
Is that about a little girl that like ends up living in a swamp or something?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Have you seen it? Or have you read the book?
No, I never let books ruin my movies.
Okay.
This is probably one of the, I always say this when I see a good movie. I said it about Top Gun Maverick. It's one of my top 5 favorite movies.
Yeah.
But that one, I mean, I bawled like a newborn child.
Yeah.
At the end of that one.
Is it the ending that you cried at, or is it during, or is
Whole
it
thing.
Yeah, I was kind of through. About halfway through, and then the ending got me good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my wife reads a lot, so she always gives me like the cliff notes on things, and so I do like reading, but I just never read novels. So I should. It'd be interesting to kind of get into my creative more, but yeah, because it's Reese. What's her name? Who's the girl that produced that?
Oh, Reese Witherspoon. Yeah.
Reese Witherspoon, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like into the book and decided to like make the movie or something. Right? At least my wife told me something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was a great movie. Great script.
It was just really well done. Actors all did an incredible job. It's really sad and depressing.
Did you cry?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like the last one that we watch a lot of mystery
yeah.
and like crime and not a whole ton of tear jerkers, I don't feel like.
Do you guys go to the movies a lot, or do you watch them at home?
Both.
We love movie popcorn. Yeah. Little blend of the kettle, half butter.
Really?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't tried that yet. I'm a huge moviegoer.
Are you?
So yeah. So when I used to travel a ton for work, right? I'd go and visit construction sites and meet with clients and stuff, but it's all during the day, right? So if I'm in Kentucky or Texas or Arizona or wherever, right? I'm normally by myself a lot. So instead of like going to a bar, I just go to like movies. In fact, my wife one time, I was at a movie. I can't remember the movie. Oh, it was How to Train Your Dragon, like right before it came out, right? So this was years ago. And she was like convinced I was somewhere I shouldn't be, right, during it. Because she's like, where did you go? Where have you been for like the last 4 hours? I was like, oh, I went to a movie. She was like, by yourself? I'm like, yeah, by myself. She's like, well, what'd you do? I'm like, I got a huge thing of popcorn. I got a freaking Coke, Diet Coke, Barbie back then. I just watched the movie by myself. And she's like, And then like I literally got home and she was like, you really watched a movie by yourself? And I was like, so I got the ticket out and showed her, and she was just like, oh, okay, that's weird. And I'm like, I love watching movies by myself. Well, I like watching it with people too, but like, to me, it's almost like it doesn't matter, right? You're kind of there by yourself anyways.
Totally. I used to do it all the time.
prefer by myself.
Do you?
Oh, like I feel like I am in the movie when I'm by myself. When I'm with people, I get a little anxious and I like can't focus. I'll end up on my phone, end up shopping online, it's a little bit harder for me to be in it. I get a little bit ADD. When I'm by myself, it's like phones down. I am like in there. I like feel like I'm in the movie, and I feel every emotion with everything. It could be the cheesiest movie ever, and I'm just like oversee that, like whatever. Like I'm just like there. I don't know why. It's so interesting.
You're comfortable with yourself. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I had about a 5-year period where I would go to dinner by myself. Like I was dating myself basically for 5 years. I'd go to dinner and then I'd go to a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people thought I was weird, but now that I know, I think we're all weird, maybe.
Well, so that's phase. Oh, we're all weird.
The three of us.
So that's
about.
so phase 2, right? Going to dinner by yourself. You like doing that?
No, that I feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But you know what I will say, and this is not me being conceited, I think it's different as a woman. I don't think there's a bunch of girls who are going, oh, look at that guy eating. And then like the guy's feeling like I don't know, you guys can speak for yourselves, but I feel like it's a little different. Like as a woman sitting there, I feel like guys are like, oh, she's by herself. And then I feel like they kind of like I'm more approachable if I'm by myself, and I can't just be like, I'm here by myself. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, sure.
Guys will just kind of look over like, oh, what's her story? What's going on? Like, is she by herself? And I'm like, leave me the F alone. Don't look at me. And then I feel like I can't eat normal because it's like people are looking at me. And so it's uncomfortable. When I'm with him, it's like, oh, she's taken. Totally like whatever. And like a couple guys will look, but it's just like I'm zoned in on him and I'm just like myself. But when I'm alone, I feel like more guys will like check me out. And I just feel like people are looking at me, and then I feel uncomfortable, and then I feel like I have to like eat more proper. So it's just like, it's not an enjoyable experience for me.
Yeah, you can't do wings because it's all over
Oh
your face
yeah,
and stuff.
no. But maybe I should. That's a good like exercise. Maybe I should just go to a wing place and just absolutely get after it. And then just be like, who cares what anyone thinks?
You also need to learn the art of the fake phone call.
Yeah. Well, people don't come up to me. It's just as a woman, you can feel when people are looking at you. Oh. And it's kind of like, that feeling of like someone's watching you pee. You know, a little bit of like stage fright.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, well, don't like get anything on your face, or, you know, it's like a first date.
No, I can sympathize with that and like understand what you're saying and believe it. You know what I mean? For me, I'm probably so egotistical that I don't even know other people are in there.
Yeah.
Because I'm so into like me sitting there, like unless you approach me, I don't even know you're sitting there. You know what I mean? Of course, half the time I'm like,
just in your own world.
Yeah,
you know, you sit down, you know, like the waiter will come up. They're always nice. The waitresses and waiters are always nicer to you when you're by yourself, right? Because they kind of are like, hey, is someone coming?
They
like,
pity
no,
you.
Just me. Yeah, they pity you a little bit. A little chat with you a little bit more, you know, kind of see where you're from or whatever, you know. And then I'm just like either on my phone or I'm eating or whatever, you know what I mean? But like,
yeah, I don't think that's egotistical. I think you're just comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
I think it's a little egotistical. I'd like to talk about it a little bit.
I'd like to go dive deeper.
Want to get real deep? Yeah. And you know what's funny about me too? So we talk about how big I am, right? Like I am like the most approachable person ever.
You are.
You know? Like
big teddy bear.
Oh, dude. If I had my wife in here, she'd have me in stitches, right? Because I've been so many times where I'm just like she takes me like Bath and Body Works, right? I'm like, like, okay, if I'm in here, I'm going to smell some stuff. You know, I'll be over there, like, smell whatever. And people will walk up and be like, did you play football? I'm like, whoa. Who's that? I had one lady down in Provo, right? She walked up to me and she just started talking to me, right? Like we knew each other. And it threw me off so bad that I started panicking, like, I must know her name. Like, there's no way she's talking to me like this without me actually meeting her before. And, dude, and then out of nowhere, dude, she literally unzips her jacket, opens her shirt like Superman, and goes, did you play for these guys? And it was a BYU shirt. No. And I'm like, no, I didn't play football in college. I ended up breaking my back. And she's like, I'm pretty sure you played. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I didn't play. She's like, really? Really? And I was just like, what do you want me to say? Like, no, I didn't play football in college. So, but then, I mean, yeah, all the time. I mean, just people, like I'm coaching football right now, these little 10-year-olds. And I've got like 3 of them that come up to me every day and they're like, you're my favorite coach. Like, we're like 2 weeks in. And I'm like, oh, good, man. I'm glad you're here, bro. Let's do this, you know? And like, I don't know.
That's cute.
Something about my face or something.
No,
it's got a kind face.
I have a kind face.
Yeah.
You've got a kind face, but just your energy is very, it's
welcoming.
very soothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Good. I like to hear that stuff because I kind of pride myself in making people feel comfortable.
Yeah, that's
so
what it is. Your energy is very comforting and like comfortable. Like we've known you for years. Nice. And I'm just meeting you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good quality. That's a good thing to have.
Oh, well, thank you.
You can also be scary though when you need to.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
With your kids and
I've heard a
work
couple
or
stories.
where? Like, where are you?
I'm not scared. I don't think I'm scary at work per se.
Driving, just road rage.
No, dude, I stopped doing that years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, I flipped someone off with my mom in the car when I was like 18 and said bad words. And my mom was so shocked. I was kind of like, I got to stop doing this. This is like, I'm going to turn to that guy. It's like, but no, I'm trying to think. I've been angry. Well, it's been a long time since I've really gotten like crazy angry, you know? But like, I was telling one of my friends about how in high school I got bullied. I got beat up by 3 kids in like the when I was in 7th grade and they were in 9th, right? I just hated these kids. Then I ended up going to a party, and one was there, and I ended up just beating the death out of one of them, right? And he was pretty violent, right? And
beating the death.
well, I shouldn't say beating the death. I got to him before he could really do anything, and he probably took 7 or 8 smashes to the face before I was finished doing what I wanted to do. And people were screaming like it was crazy. And I felt crazy doing it, but also felt really good. Like I don't regret it at all. But like,
what happened moving forward with him?
Nothing. I never saw him again. He was, by that time, I think he was graduated from high school. Like I was in either like 11th or 12th grade. So I went from being a skinny little 7th grade kid, like too tall, you know, like the giraffe kind of looking kid, to like 255, 6'6", star of the football team kind of thing. Not the superstar, but we got some real superstars on my team. But yeah, I think he looked at me like, oh shit. Like when I walked in the room and I was like, it's today.
So literally no warning. You just walked up and just went for it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And he knew it was coming. Why did he beat you up in the first place?
He was the one that held me down because I was wearing Airwalk shoes that were patent leather, and they were calling me homophobic slurs.
Oh,
which I didn't think was cool.
Jeez.
Even back then, it wasn't cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why people get bullied. I got bullied a decent amount between my elementary school and junior high a little bit.
Really?
My face.
That makes me feel sad.
I used to have kind of reddish hair, you know, before I lost it all. No, honestly, it's not a big deal. I don't even bother with it. But what about you guys? You ever get bullied? Right? Ever?
No, I was the bully. I was the bully.
No way.
I don't think I was not the bully. I never really got bullied. No, I wish I could say that I did because it would be I'd be fitting in right now. But
yeah.
I grew up in I grew up in Provo. I had a tight group of friends, and I guess I grew up in a kind community. Did you get bullied?
No. I mean, girls are different though. Like I was the girl that would step in if I heard that there was like something going on. I'd be like, let me at him. Like I would come in. I stood up for people, and I had gotten a couple fights myself. I actually had like a fight night one time too in high school. Ripped my shirt off. All the guys are like, ugh.
Whoa.
Ripped my shirt off down
You
to my bra.
had a sports bra underneath.
No, I had just a full bra.
Oh.
I ripped it off, and then I like some
On
guy.
the same wavelength, Bret.
I was wearing a sweater, and I'm like stepping into the ring, and like full fight night. Like everyone's around. They created this ring. They give us the gloves and everything. I wish I could find the video. It is so classic, but I'm in a sweater. I like rip off my sweater. Some guy throws me a shirt. Throw on a shirt. Full fight night.
Nice.
But I mean, that was just like fun, you know, and all the guys were just like, you guys need to fight. But there was a couple times where they'd be like, Demi, so-and-so, like it would all be like boyfriend things, like so-and-so's boyfriend did this or whatever, and the girlfriend is like pissed, and so I'd like go meet up, and like it always ended verbally, but they'd be like, we need you to come just in case.
You were the equalizer. Yes. There was an attempt at bullying me by a couple brothers in the neighborhood one day. The Beckstead brothers. They're actually nice guys, but during that time they were wanted to beat me up for some reason. Yeah. And I was about 2 doors down from my house. My dad looks out and he sees what's going on. They're trying to bully me. And the little brother, there was a brother, I think Scott was 1 year older and Zach was 1 year younger. And Zach, the younger one, started getting up in my face and was like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know, come on, let's fight. Something like that. I don't remember. Maybe something, I don't know. Anyway, I look up at my dad and my dad's going, hit him. And I'm like, and I never punched anybody in the face at the time. I was like 11 years old. And I was just like, I just panicked and I just picked him up and put him on his back. And then I walked home. And then as soon as I walked in the door, my dad goes, "Damn it. If I tell you to hit somebody, you better hit him. Get in your room." Grounded me for a week.
Got mad.
Yeah. You can't imagine that because that's my dad.
No.
But yeah.
That's shocking.
Wanted me to punch Zach Beckstead in the face.
You'd rather go through that when you're in your teens than when you're in your late 20s or 30s.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's friends I have from high school who I need to remain unnamed, but they needed their ass kicked in high school bad. It would have fixed their life.
Yeah.
For sure.
Woken them up a little bit.
Yeah. Just like the world can punch you back instead of you just being that guy that's just like, oh, nothing can happen to me, blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
for sure.
A lot of them get into drugs.
I could have used a little bit of that, I think.
Yeah.
My teachers always used to be like, "You're not going to be able to just smile through life and get what you want." And I'm like, watch me. I will.
It's worked so far.
I know, so far so good.
I'll tell you, man, teachers in high school don't know much.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, they don't know much.
Well,
You hear all these crazy stories, right? Like,
You
my
become
teacher
an-
said this to me. It's like, what the hell?
yeah, you become an adult and then you realize that, wait a minute, every adult, when I was a kid growing up that I looked up to, is basically just a kid still pretending like they're an adult.
Yeah.
That's life.
Really, no one really
No one
grows
knows what the
up.
hell they're doing.
Yeah.
Everyone's faking it, except for you.
Yeah, I'm,
You know what
I'm
you're
the
doing.
only one out there. Come to me, everybody wise. This wise old guy. No, dude. I mean, I'm at the age now. We're the age, where like when we were like teenagers, our friends' parents were like our age.
Yeah, it freaks me out.
Which is so weird, and I'm just like,
Not me. Not me.
yeah, only two
you
of
guys.
us. You'll get there one day. It's weird.
Yeah,
Well, you
don't blink.
realize it's like, dude, all these people growing up, it's like, dude, they had like this pressure and like their jobs and like their kids and like, they had wild kids or non-wild kids. Like, there was divorces that happened when we were kids, a lot less, it seemed like, back then. But like, I don't know, it's just weird, like going back and trying to get into the psyche of some of your friends' parents. Like, oh, dude, that guy was an asshole because his wife hated him. You know what I mean? Or like they had some crazy thing going on, and I'm in his fridge eating freaking, drinking
Yeah.
half a gallon of milk and eating all of his snacks for later on, And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, this freaking kid.
Oh, I had that aha moment literally yesterday. I'm like, oh, this is why so-and-so would get mad when he'd walk in the door and there would be friends here. Like, that's how I get with my own children. Like,
Yeah.
it's maddening. You're like, I was saving that for literally my late night snack and it's gone.
Who ate it?
I don't know. I don't know who. I'm not going to name names.
Rome,
just in-
Cole?
Yeah, probably.
We will find out tonight. Oh yeah. Plus, dude, the curfew thing, right? I mean, can you imagine, like, get freaking like 40 kids at your house. It's 2:00 in the morning. It's like, go home.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here. I want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
We had wild. We were not wild as kids. Most of my friends, but like we did stay up like all night long. Just trying to kiss girls.
So just a rite of
Freaking
passage,
goal,
yeah.
right? Yeah. Yeah.
Teenagers. Scary.
Oh.
I got thrown right into it. When you're 20 and
You're
marry a 50-year-old. There's a lot that comes with it. Teenagers being
Easy.
one.
Now, when he has his 50th birthday, it's gonna like blow people's minds.
Him?
I already had it.
He already had it.
51st, you mean?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's 51st.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, we had a big 50.
Book him, Dano. I'm 5-0. You didn't even get that joke.
What joke?
That's why we got to keep you guys around. We like the youngins to make us feel younger.
Do you have an age gap with your wife?
2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah. I got married too young, man. She was 20. I was 22.
Yeah, but
We turned. I mean, like a couple months later, we both turned 23 and 21. But
all's well that ends well, though.
I guess all's well that who gets freaking stupid lucky. I mean, I don't. My wife. I mean, we work in our marriage, of course, right? We've been through ups and downs, and all the stuff people say, right? But like, she really is like my best friend. That's kind of where I think the glue really holds. Is like, even if like we decided we don't want to be married anymore, like I would still treat her like one of my best friends for sure, and I think she'd feel the same way. But I don't know, man. Getting married that young is crazy. There's just so many things you didn't do, and there's like,
It's kind of like being the first to jump off a 300-foot cliff.
yeah.
Yeah. Seems like
And I
that
come
might be
up
a
and tell her
pattern
when
for
to do
you.
it. Like, you should do it, man. Get married. This is a blast. Ooh, don't marry that one. Yeah. So I'm actually very happy. I'm happy I'm not single.
Yeah.
Being single would suck.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Now let's switch gears here. I'm going to ask you a question. Before you were married, you were going to be on The Bachelorette.
I was.
Tell us about that.
So ironically, she and her husband at the time were the ones that nominated me anonymously to go on that show. And so I was called, went, showed up for 7 days. They did all the kind of pre-production interviews. And then COVID hit. The night that I was supposed to meet, I was on, I don't know what number it was, but it was Claire Crawley, who was the Bachelorette. And the night that I was supposed to meet her, COVID was kind of at its peak. And they sent us all home and said, hey, you'll come back at a later date. And in between then and having the opportunity to go back, she and her husband at the time had split, and we connected, and I didn't go back. Yeah. It's crazy.
So let me ask you this. So you're going to go on The Bachelorette, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you're not actually thinking you're going to marry this chick, right?
I was in it for love. Yeah.
Shut up.
I was desperately searching for love, and that's what it was all about. Yeah. I was trying to practice what you guys were talking about earlier and just saying yes to things, Thought it might be a good opportunity, and
why not?
who just thought I've turned down things that I wish I wouldn't have. Very rarely in my life have I regretted things, that I've chosen to do. Yeah. And so.
Well, dude, I used to be a huge fan of The Bachelor and Bachelorette. Believe it or not, I used to watch a lot of them, but it's been a minute. But I always kind of pictured myself on that show, just thinking like, dude, I could be a menace on this thing.
A menace?
A menace. Like,
what would you have done? Would you have been the bad guy?
Most likely.
Yeah.
Most likely. I just because I think it would be so much fun. Like, you get that much testosterone, dude, fighting over one chick, supposedly, right? Mm-hmm. It's just, you walk in a room, like, after you've been, like, on a lone date or whatever, and be like, sorry, boys, it's over. Yeah. You just have to be like, what the freak? And be like, you don't have a chance, dude. She doesn't like guys with small ears. And just get those guys riled up, because you say something like that, right? You're going to get on air.
Yeah.
Next thing that's going to happen is that guy with the small ears is going to be on his little confessional, right? Just being like, I can't believe that jackass had small ears. And then, like, everyone just goes, they are kind of small.
He does have small ears, when you think about it.
And then that dude forever will be known as the guy with small ears. Yeah. And I'm the guy that's like nicknaming everybody. Yeah. That's what I mean. I'd be a menace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just mess them, just like putting little time bombs in everyone's head. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, you got a better chance than me, bro. Oh, don't worry about it. It's just that lisp you have. You got to get over that lisp.
Just slowly breaking down the self-esteem.
Exactly. Then the Bachelorette would go back and they'd have the little powwow of who she has to give the roses to and then the two she wants to, right? Mm-hmm. They'd be like, no, you got to keep on giving Mark a rose, dude. This is golden. That dude has to stay. And she's just like, here's your rose. I'm like, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're in love with me still. Curtsy. Yeah, if I was a married man, they would be calling me up. Talk to a producer.
She was a big fan. You've been a big fan of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette.
Yeah, until Chris Harrison got booted.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan anymore.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
I won't even watch it.
Yeah.
You lost me as a viewer. Not happening. He was literally the glue to that show.
Yeah, he's like the constant.
What happened? Chaotic. I don't even know. He said something controversial or what?
He said something controversial either through COVID or through something, and
so dumb. I'm so tired of cancel culture. It's so stupid.
It is
dumb.
Ridiculous. Especially if you do your job well. Like, I don't know. Like, they can't honestly look at the show now and go, yep, the momentum's continued. It's really heading in a good direction.
Yeah, it's probably
like fizzle. They lost so many people.
Yeah.
But that's the world we're headed into. It's just crazy.
I think those big shows they're gonna lose because we actually have stuff like TikTok and Instagram and like YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of time.
Yeah, even comedians now, right? They're not doing HBO specials or Netflix specials anymore. They're doing like their own specials. They can stream their own stuff. It's why wouldn't they do that? Get 100% of the money if they do that. You know what I mean? That's why YouTube's freaking massive. You want to put something out, put it on YouTube.
I used to watch shows and hang on every single scene and like want to drag it out and like make it this emotional experience. And now I'll watch something and I'm like, boring, skip. Like, our attention span is so much smaller now because of these quick videos, this quick little like capsulated entertainment that we're getting, that I feel like there's nowhere to go with it. Like, eventually it's going to get to the point where people don't have the attention span for it. So they're either going to have to shorten things and pack things with like super interesting things, or it's just going to be gone in general. I would be interested to see a reality TV show of that, though, where it's like 15, 20 minute, like vlog style type stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the direction they're going to have to start going.
I almost wonder if you could do a reality show. We'll call it the Real House Husbands of Utah. I'm coining that term right now.
Yes.
But if you had to watch them through, let's just say TikTok, right? So each husband that's on there just puts their perspective out on TikTok over and over and over again. And you got to like follow all 5 of them or whatever to like see everything that's going on. But you almost have to interact with them like in real time.
That's a cool idea.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, that is super interesting.
Should we do
Trademark
it?
that right now.
Seriously.
Yeah. I've been joking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake. So that's the only TV show I consistently watch is the Real Housewives of Salt Lake.
I don't even watch that.
I've seen a couple episodes.
We've watched a couple episodes, but I never got into any of the seasons or any of that at all. But we watched a couple episodes. It's so like cringy to me. Like that's the cringiest reality TV show I've ever seen. Literally every episode we were like, there's no way that this actually is airing. Like this is not at all interesting and the drama is so cringy. We both were like secondhand embarrassment and we turned it off. Like we couldn't do it.
Well, my thing, I read people really well, right?
Yeah.
Like I can talk to someone for a few minutes and kind of understand them. And then like, if I get to know you, like I can read you like that. Right. And so the first 2 episodes of Salt Lake, right? I was like, these chicks don't know each other. Like none of these chicks know each other. None of them. And who the hell is that? I've lived in Utah my whole life.
Yeah.
I know like one of these girls. You know what I mean? And I'm like, so it just like got me super intrigued. I also kind of laughed that they took a Southwest flight down to Las Vegas for one of their light trips. I was like, well, this sure as shit ain't the freaking Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because they would be caught dead on a Southwest flight. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Those little things kind of catch me. You know, like some of them live in like Deer Valley, but they're all renting their houses and stuff like that. And I'm like, how can you be like a housewife of Salt Lake and not live here?
Yeah. I guess it's very on brand, the Salt Lake, to just feel like it's an absolute shit show.
Right.
And just like everyone's faking it to be at the top. Like I watched a couple episodes of Orange County, I think, and I'm like, these people actually have money. These people are actually bougie. They aren't pretending. It is so on brand for most of these people, especially because we know the backstory of a lot of them, that we're just like, you're not rich. You're kind of riding off the coattails of these people. And it's just so Utah. Yeah. You know, like that is so Utah for everyone to just be like acting like they're this big fish, you know?
Yeah.
But
I know,
how do you really feel about it though? I feel like you've kind of held back.
No, I love that. I mean, I'm telling you, it's true. You know, I mean, there's some women here in Utah that are like insanely wealthy. There's a lot of money in Utah.
Yeah, there is. But
those chicks are so classy. You know what I mean? Like they never even fight. They're just like whatever. You know what I mean? Like, why are you getting all upset about a cocktail or something? You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I was kind of hoping they would have like a real staunch LDS person on there too. You know what I mean? I mean, I could pick freaking 30 women that would be dope to have that one position. Because it's like, however you want to view Utah, right? There are very good, wonderful LDS people that live here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't think they wanted to jeopardize like them twisting things.
For sure.
Because I know a couple people that interviewed that they were just kind of like, they got a taste of the drama or they got a taste of how they spin things and they were just kind of like, for what, you know? Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's kind of hard to mix those two worlds, I think, because it's like, you want to control the narrative, but there's not, you give up that, you know, that right when you get on a show. So it's kind of difficult, I think.
Yeah, you're vulnerable to editing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the scariest thing about any kind of reality TV is that you could say something that, you know, and they take it completely out of context and use it as a teaser.
Yeah.
And it's not at all what you intended.
Yeah.
That's the scary part.
Well, and I know I don't know any of the housewives personally. I've only met one of them, like in real life. And most of the people I know that know them, they'll love them. They're like, oh yeah, she's amazing. Nothing like the show. Like all of them say that, like nothing like the show, nothing like the show. And I'm just kind of like, like how made up is this thing? I'd like to get 4 or 5
I know.
women
Well, I went to college with Heather and Lisa, and then I mean Angie's not a main character on there, but she's my ex-wife. She's a friend on the show, and so I know them I mean, I know Angie well, obviously. Heather and Lisa, I kind of know, and they are, they're definitely. I mean, I know people kind of evolve over time, but the kind of the way they behave on the show is pretty unrecognizable to the people that I knew, you know, in college. So, teach their own. It's a little over the top and dramatic for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not my thing.
I love the dramatic stuff. Just love it. I mean, I love the local dramatic stuff.
When you're not involved, it's fun. You're like, okay, this is interesting. Keeps life interesting.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, to me, I don't know. If I had to just sum it up, it's not interesting to me. It's not interesting drama. I'm just like, it doesn't really captivate me, you know? Maybe that says more about me in a good way than it does about the show, you know? Like, it's just like pointless drama to me.
Yeah.
But Mark likes it.
Yeah. Well,
I can't get enough of it. But it's
there's different,
and that's fine.
There's different drama for different people, though. Like, for me, maybe it's because I know so much about it that I'm just like, you know, when you know things are fake, it's like the other day I went to, or not the other day, but we went to, where did we go? The Michael Bublé concert, and it was insane, right? And that was before I went to the Justin Bieber concert. Yeah. But then after that, I'm watching them set everything up, and I'm watching like the behind the scenes of stuff, and I'm like, this is all a facade. Like, literally everything is set up to make it seem like there's some grand thing going on. None of it is really that exciting. It's all fake. And so from then on out, it was just kind of like, oh, that kind of ruined things. You know, it's like ignorance is bliss. And you're like, oh, this is so sick. This is awesome. And it's like, you go to enough restaurants, you realize it's all a cut of meat. You know, like they cooked it a little differently. It's not that special, you know? And everything is just kind of made to like fool you into thinking it's greater than it is. And so since I've had that awakening, I'm kind of like, it's not that cool, you know? Which is good for me in my position, because I'm like, TikTok is not cool. It's fun, and like it's a great way to bring in income. But I'm like, no one's better than anyone else. It's all a facade. We're all on a spinning rock. We all take a shit. We all literally do the same things day in and day out, right? Like, it's nothing. It literally, it means nothing. Yeah. So that's how I view these shows. I'm just like, I view it the same as the Kardashians, only that they have a better producer, you know? So it literally is, it's all a facade, you know? None of that intimidates me or like makes me feel like, oh, it's so cool. I'd love to be a part of that. A part of what?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. See, and I totally agree with you, by the way. I think that's why once you kind of, I have this saying that I say to people is like, once you're wise, you don't wander. Right? Mm-hmm. Meaning you're not just like weak-minded and looking at everything and like believing everything and all that kind of stuff, because you're wise to it, right? And I mean, that's kind of why I like the house husband side of it, right? Because I'm like, dude, I actually think you could put like 5 alpha males together and they would actually create drama. You know what I mean? Especially if you had a couple business deals go bad or like some shit talk behind the scenes. Like, you wouldn't have to like manufacture this bullcrap.
Okay, but can I cut you off really quick? Because with the whole mom talk drama that happened, the entire thing I kept saying through the whole thing is I was like, guys, this is a business. We need to be more like men. If this were a bunch of men and there was an affair that happened with a wife or whatever, they would punch each other, and then the next day they say, okay, meeting at 9 a.m. Yeah. And they would be back in the office. And I was like, we need to take the emotion out of it. We need to like take the drama out of it, and we need to move on. Like, keep going. There's a lot of momentum there. Just keep on going. Yeah. So I disagree with you in the sense that I feel like guys are better in that way. Like, they're better at seeing the bigger picture and being like, you fucking asshole. Okay, I'm going to punch you, and then we're going to move on because there's money to be made. Yeah. I feel like they're more like, okay, let's go out, let's kill, let's eat, let's provide for our families. Like, we don't have time to get caught up in the emotion of it. Yeah. So I do not think that a guy show would actually do as well for that reason. I don't feel like there would be as much drama and emotion. It might be interesting because it's never been done, but I don't know. Well,
I actually totally agree with you, right? But I think that the reason why the show would be interesting is because those things would actually get resolved. Right? The problem with the Real Housewives stuff, they're still bitching about stuff that happened 4 years ago or whenever the heck they actually filmed it, right? And they're bringing me things, well, she looked at me cross and, she was unhappy at my husband's birthday party, so I'm pissed. It's like, still?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with guys, it'd just be like the next thing. Oh, this dude, blah, 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 blah. And you go more tromping through like the trenches with it and stuff.
Yeah.
But but maybe you would have to make up more stuff or create more drama because they would resolve stuff a lot faster.
Well, why do you get hooked on that show? Because there's that drama. Because it's like, oh my gosh, because you can sit there and go, you're an idiot and I'm not, and I feel better about my life because I'm watching a bunch of idiots on screen. And so then I go, wow, at least I'm not that low. At least I don't handle situations like that, right? Like it makes you feel better in a sense. And it's kind of addicting. Like that feeling's kind of addicting. And I'm not saying maybe that's you, but I'm saying I think in general, people watch things and they fill their life with mindless things like that because it feels like, oh, at least I handle my life better than that, or at least I have it more together. So I think, I don't know, but it could be a cool twist because I also see the flip side of being like it being super motivating to be like, man, I want to be more like Steve. I want to be more like Mark. I want to be more like these guys that get in these situations and they handle themselves well and they're poised and like, there's a takeaway from it. So it could be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just more of as like a motivating thing. Why do people listen to podcasts? Why do people listen to, things that are motivating? Because they want to become better, right? So it's not always just that you're wanting to feel better about yourself and maybe you want to better yourself. So that could be a good different thing.
Oh yeah. No, I'm guilty as charged on looking at their lives and thinking I'm better. No, I do a little more subconsciously than that, right? But like, no, I mean, I guess my one thing with the Real Housewives of Salt Lake, it's kind of a joke too when I say I'm like in love with it, even though I do watch every episode and I like read about them in the news and stuff. Like I'm a super fan. But I think for me, it's also like a moment where I don't have to think about anything else. And it's just like trash drama that I'm just like, all right, cool. I can just unplug from the world and watch this insane crap and then like kind of laugh at it and then like, go to bed or go back to the office or answer the freaking email or something,
Yeah. Oh, trash TV. I'm not above it. Yeah. But I definitely am not like, and he says this all the time, like, what would you do if you met this person? The only person I would pass out and literally you'd have to resuscitate me is Justin Bieber. Everyone else, I would go, you're my sister, you're my brother, you just took a shit, you just did this, you just did that, I just did that too. Yeah, we're on the same playing field. Yeah. You're not better than me. I'm not better than you. That's how I view people. It's not exciting to me. So that's my only thing with it, that I'm just like, people get hyped up about it and it's like they just are they learned how to tie their shoe and they did the same things you did. There's nothing like, no one's more special because you had a camera in front of you, you know?
And that's a good understanding to have. Because, when I met some celebrities, or I've met a lot of billionaires, right? And they're kind of a different thing. They're kind of a celebrity, but they're kind of not, right? They're actually really powerful, generally, right? And they have like huge organizations that kind of cater to them. And I think that they get to the point a lot of the times where they just want to be treated normal, like with that attitude, just like, hey, we're kind of friends. Like, let's just sit here and chill. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to ask for a job or see if you want to invest in something. You know what I mean? It's like, let's just talk about what you're up to, like kind of get normal. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's probably the same thing when you meet people, right? I mean, I'm trying to think I don't know if I met that many celebrities, but I think they get sick of the rigmarole too, right?
Yeah. But I think they would prefer you to be that way too. Even just from like hearing interviews of people, I don't think they're wanting to bro down with a super fan that's like, oh my gosh, I'm in love with you, I'm this, and they're like, okay, yep, okay, let that simmer, and then when you can be normal and realize like that we're all the same, then I mean, I'm sure there is that level of ego, that comes with the territory of feeling like maybe they are better than, but I think majority of the time people just want to connect on a normal level. Yeah,
exactly. So much fake stuff. I think even with like normal people, right? Like us, I'm normal. You guys are kind of celebrities, but.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
By the time this airs, dude, you guys, my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna have tens of followers.
That's what I keep on saying all my things. So this is the first podcast I've actually recorded since I've released one. So yesterday was the first day I released the podcast, right? And so I've been telling people, I'm like, hey, you don't even need to worry about my podcast. There's no need to get worried. Like I have 0 followers. Right? Just sit here and relax. And they're just like, oh, okay. It's kind of fun. So let's talk a little bit more about TikTok. So explain to me what Moms of TikTok is.
So it started out as Mom Talk is what it was called. And I'll speak on it as much as I feel comfortable. I don't want to speak for anyone or like make anyone feel uncomfortable, but I think they'll be fine with just the basic rundowns of common knowledge with it, just because there is so much stuff going on with it and it's kind of been a nightmare. But there was 3 original people. It was Miranda. What's Miranda's last name?
McQuarter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miranda.
Sorry,
good job.
I'm texting your brother right now, real quick, because I'm late for a call with him, and he hates it when I'm late. So
He'll be just fine.
okay.
So Miranda, Taylor, and Camille were all the 3 original Mom Talkers, and it just started with I
So
think
are those the 2? So I haven't seen very much of it. Right?
Okay.
But because Taylor basically said she's got 2 daughters, right? Then she's got like grandkids with them, right?
Yeah,
But those are 2 girls from that video.
yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
gotcha.
So Taylor is the brunette, and then Miranda and Camille are the 2 blondes that everyone thought that Taylor was the mom and they were the 2 daughters. So there was a whole bunch of things like that ensued when people would ask them questions and they'd kind of make a spin on it, and and then all these rumors were like, is she a mom? Is she a grandma? What's going on? Anyway, so it started with them 3 just kind of like posting mom life, and then it became the mom and the 2 girls and the grandma, and then they started talking about being Mormon, and so then I don't know, how did that kind of go? So they started posting content saying that they were Mormon, but then there was people being like, hey, but Mormons don't do this and Mormons don't wear that, and like, what's going on? So then they kind of used that. Everything was used to their advantage of content, right? And which is like a smart marketing move. Like, it's hard enough to come up with content if you can just use people's questions and like their negative responses as content. Like, you have content, So I don't really blame any of them for how they did things, because it's like, it's smart strategy, It's a business strategy. But anyway, so then they kind of branched out a little bit. They got the next like tier, if you will, of moms to join, and I think at that point there was like 6 or 7 of them, and they would just like get together once a month and they would just do like a content day basically. And then it kind of just slowly grew. When I got added in, I think we were at 12, so there was like 12 of us, and at the point that I came in, I was kind of thinking, okay, let's cap it. And not just because it was like, I'm in, let's cap it, but I was just like, you see Team 10, like you've seen the people that have been successful in the past of like Hype House, Team 10. And I'm kind of thinking, okay, if we want this to be like a legit thing, it can't get too big. And so I'm thinking like business strategy, right? I'm thinking, let's keep this small, let's keep it intimate, let's keep it interesting, almost create characters, our own little like team where people can get to know each person, so that it doesn't get out of hand, 1, and 2, so that it stays interesting, so that it's not constantly just like growing, and it's like, okay, we can't even fit everyone in the screen, right? Well, that brought a whole bunch of drama, because then it was like people were feeling left out, and it was like moms who didn't even have a presence on TikTok were like, well, I feel left out. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, you're welcome to come hang and everything, but like at the end of the day, if the goal is to like create this like Team 10 or Hype House and keep it small and create this like presence, you can't really do that by inviting every mom in America to come on into this, So people were feeling left out just because they had acquaintances and like friendships within it, and that they weren't being invited. And then you also had it growing and growing, like we got up to like 21 people. And so there's like 21 people in this group, okay? And I mean, long story short, I know I'm rambling, so just tell me if you want anything specific. But basically, shit hit the fan when the swinger stuff came out.
Yeah.
So all the swinger stuff came out, and everyone was like, who was involved, who wasn't? And then Taylor was kind of like clearing some people's names and not clearing others. So you have like 21 married moms, a lot of them Mormon, being kind of dragged into it, And yes, there was like the original group, and everyone's like, you're not really involved. But at the same time, like we all had done videos together. We'd all been hanging out. He and I had been to a few of the parties that like the swinger parties, but like no swinging went on when we were there, but like we were at those parties, you know? And so it's like from the outside looking in.
It wasn't a swinger party. It was a party that happened to have the swinger people, the people that were participating in that there, but it wasn't a swinger party.
Well, I mean,
it was a
when
house
we
party.
left, things had gone down, you know? Like that was the intent behind it, was to get together, party, and then they would like have these parties, right?
Which is probably kind of common, right? I mean,
it's not like
start partying a little thing, and then, you know, once the people that aren't into it leave, and, you know, lights get turned down. And so let me ask you, so about those parties, were they always happening, or did that heat up along the way?
So they were happening, and I'm not going to name names, but they were happening with the original people that were doing that for like a year prior to us starting to hang out with them. And, they would, so it was frequent. It was like every weekend. And
was it common knowledge when you joined the group that was going on?
No,
okay.
We had no clue. And
I imagine there's some secrecy to that.
Yeah, there was. And that's why I think it blew up, was because Taylor kind of came out. Everything, I don't know how much you know of it, but everything got leaked on Reddit. And I was explaining to someone yesterday, I was just like, I can understand both sides of being like, we all were in agreement that we weren't going to say anything, because that's what everyone got pissed about, was that she said anything and came out publicly about it, which I understand that frustration. At first I was like, why would you do that? But then hearing her side of it, everything was leaked on Reddit, and so it was kind of sink or swim for her.
Do people know who leaked it, or is it anonymous?
I think that Taylor knows. Yeah.
Okay.
I won't say.
Did Taylor do it?
But
No, I was kidding.
no,
You know.
Yeah, I know who it is.
Say it.
I shouldn't.
Okay, don't.
Hey, our 3 listeners, dude, will go bananas with this.
I just, out of respect, and just because I wasn't involved. If I was
it'll
involved,
probably come out anyways.
Yeah.
It's funny because on the way up to the first party we went to, we both at the same time kind of had the feeling like, should we even be going to this?
Yeah, we felt sick. I felt so sick. I almost said turn around. We were out. We were like 10 minutes out, and I literally had almost turned to him and said, let's turn around. Like, I was sick to my stomach. I couldn't even explain it. I thought I was like nervous because I get social anxiety, but I'm pretty good about that. Like, I meet people, it goes away. And so I know that. And so even if I have that buildup of anxiety, I'm usually like, it'll go away. This, I couldn't explain it. It was like, run, turn back around, do not go. Yeah. Like, and I was so sick to my stomach.
Were you anticipating these activities happening, or were you just thinking like it could happen?
No.
I mean, we weren't even, the whole swinger thing wasn't even on our radar.
Okay.
We just thought, we just thought for where we are in our lives right now, we're not like partying and like,
right.
It just feels a little bit
unauthentic,
off current brand for us. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not to say that we didn't dabble in that. Like, we dabbled in that with, you know, just he and I, and like, we're not totally against that lifestyle. So it was a little bit weird.
To clarify that, against what lifestyle?
Against the
swinger lifestyle?
No, not the swinging. Sorry. The like partying lifestyle. Having a drink every now and then. Like, I'm the first to say, like, if having a glass of wine before bed loosens you up and you're able to connect better with your spouse, by all means, do it. And then go to the temple the next day. Like, I'm like the most loose sense of the word of a Mormon that I think you'll find without being like a Jack Mormon. And so for me, I'm like, I don't judge, and I'm totally just like, whatever fits your lifestyle. And even with the swinger thing, it's not like that's been happening for centuries. It's nothing new, you know? And it's very prevalent here in Utah. So it's not like it was shocking. It's just more shocking looking back, being like, man, we really like...
We were in the lion's den.
Yeah, we really were, you know?
Dodged a couple bullets.
Yeah, like, we were being groomed. So it is crazy to think, like, looking back, I'm like, man, we really like... both parties that we went to, we both were kind of like, the first party we were like sick, and then the second party we were like, we're not drinking, we're not doing anything, we're just gonna be there and just be present, and just like, because we actually do enjoy the company of those people. Like, I'm good friends with Taylor, we loved her husband, we love her husband Tate, Chase, Miranda, like all of them we vibed with. Like, we left being like, okay, wait, they're so cool. Yeah. So we vibed with them. And so it was the second time around that we went, we just were kind of like, okay, that doesn't align with how we want it. We were trying to get pregnant, and we're, you know, trying to be a good example to our kids. And we're just like, okay, we decided we're not going to drink, we're not going to do anything, but we're going to just like foster the relationship. So we went as just like, barbecue, had the best steak of our lives.
Yeah.
Tate grilled up some nice steak. But it was just fun, you know? And Taylor, I was actually talking to her about it, and she was just like explaining that we were at a girls' night, and she's just like, I mean, you had to have been an idiot to not know. And I'm like, well, I'm a dumbass then, because I had no idea, like did not pick up on anything. And she's like, well, I will. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean it that way. But like, I will say the 2 times you were there was a couple there that was super anti and had made that very clear. And so they were very cautious and careful with them there. And we happened to be there. And then the next time they said that we nothing really got going until later. We were only there for like an hour. And so they're like, that night when you left, like an hour later, things got kind of hectic, and then things happened. And so we just happened to be like at the 2 parties that she's like, yeah, actually those don't feel dumb, because both those parties, you know. Oh. So anyway, it's weird. It's crazy that we didn't pick up on anything. It's also even crazier that was going on. Like, it's just wild. But
oh yeah, it caught some attention for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and kind of going back to the swinger party thing, right? Like, it actually wasn't a swinger party traditionally, right? Weren't they just like making out with each other's spouses and stuff?
Isn't that a swinger party?
Well,
I think they called it soft swinging.
Yeah.
They call it soft swinging?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a little out of the know.
Yeah.
My understanding, well, I think a swinger party is more like an orgy where everyone just like picks somebody else, and you go up into a room and you have sex, and then you might repeat that a few times for the evening. It's kind of like a Mormon swinger thing, right? Or am I wrong?
I don't know.
Like a high school or like a junior high level swinging, maybe?
Yeah, just like they were just like getting as close to the edge as they could, right?
Yeah.
Because isn't that the whole thing? Like, one of them ended up having an affair, or multiple people had an affair, and then it like started blowing up marriages, right? Because that was against the rules of the party.
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was more just like they had their boundaries, and that was just their way of justifying things of like, oh, it spices up our marriage, and like, this is fun, you know, but we don't cross this hard line, you know? So once that line was crossed, then it was like, whoa, you know, like we're really messing with lives here and marriages, and like things are getting crazy. So I think that's what kind of blew it all up.
And you've been able to stay friends with all of them, right?
Yeah. I've just stayed neutral.
Yeah.
You know, I've stayed neutral just because I wasn't involved, you know, and at the end of the day, it's like, it doesn't really affect me what they do, you know? Yeah. There's been frustrating things for me for sure of just.
There's been some Mean Girls stuff going on
There's been some
with a couple
definite,
of the girls.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Catty BS.
Yeah. That's been the frustrating thing for me.
A little to be expected, though, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So is Mom to TikTok still a thing? Are you guys still? Is there still a group that gets together to do that, or are you guys all individual now? Or
yeah,
couple of splinter groups of Mean Girls doing their thing, trying to do it 2.0, embarrassing themselves along the way. I'll say that. I don't mind saying that. I won't name names, but they know who they are. It's hard to watch. It's like watching a train wreck, watching a car accident.
Yeah, because Taylor's kind of the glue on the mom talk thing, right? Like, if she's not involved, it's not really Mom to TikTok. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I will say, though, that, like, okay, so I'm still really close with Taylor, Miranda, Michaela, Macy, Whitney, Bella, Miranda. Those are the girls that I'm still close with that were in the group. And
but you were never really close with any of the other ones, really. I mean,
yeah. It's not that I was like super close with them and then I'm not, right?
Kind of falling out or something. You just you didn't vibe with any of the others.
Yeah, really. I never really felt close to anyone else in the group. I really like Miranda and I really like Taylor, and I feel like those were the two that it was like hard because there was like a small falling out or feud, you know? And so it felt as though like, not that they were, no, kind of, that they kind of set it up to like pick a side. And I just stayed super neutral because I really do just like them both. And I'm like, I wasn't involved in any of your decision making with that stuff. So I've tried to remain neutral. I don't know why. Maybe it's because, I don't know why, but I've gotten together more with Taylor since then. Only a couple times, but
So are Taylor and Miranda on opposite sides still?
they've resolved things.
Okay.
So they're
Have most of the girls resolved stuff except for that one splinter group, or are they?
yes.
The splinter group is just total passive aggressive. They get together to post things to try to infer that, you know, they're the kind of the new mom talk and they're against Taylor, and it's just mean girls.
Just posturing.
Which is
Just posturing
ironic
and
because I will
embarrassing.
say one thing, and I don't want to name names or anything, but I will say one thing. They're the girls that are like completely in the dark. Like they don't have the full story, but they are the ones blocking people and making videos. And it's like, you don't even know what you're doing.
I feel like we got to amp this up. We got to get like mom talk and then the real mom talk or something. I don't know.
Yeah, seriously.
So is it still on the table then to have Taylor's group and your group kind of like keep mom talk rolling?
This is again where I wish they'd think more like men, because I'm like, you have a freaking great opportunity to just say, let's use this to our advantage and
Absolutely.
keep going. And they're not seeing the bigger picture. They're stuck in the emotions. And that's where I want to wake them up and say, do you know how the Kardashians are the way that they are? There was a full sex tape leaked. Do you think there was emotions there? Of course there were. Yeah. They used that to their advantage and they built off the momentum, and now they are crushing it. Yeah. So I wish they would think more in that way, but they're more stuck like, I'm having a really hard time. And not to say it's not hard. I don't want to diminish that. But guess what? People are interested in that. So use that to your advantage, wake up, and freaking get up and use it to your advantage and crush it. People are so interested with this. Eventually, it's going to fizzle out. Like most things do, if you don't build off the momentum, it's going to fizzle out. Right now, it's still so hot that I want to just be like, guys, reach out to someone. Do a freaking show. Make your own show. Like, create something with this. Like, you literally are given all the things to create something. Do it.
Yeah.
So I wish that they would view it more that way.
Top too, right? I mean, all you got to do is put content out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not, you don't have to gain an
I
audience.
get the reservation though, because the basis of it is such garbage, you know?
Yeah, but that's the point though. Kim had a sex tape, but that's not all she's done with her life, right? Like it started from that. Yeah. But she's gone on to do and accomplish so many things.
I think that the church tie is a little bit, it creates kind of a tough nuance for Taylor, you know, and maybe for some of the others who, you know, for their whole lives, you know, the whole virtue thing was such a big thing. And now this is so, you know, in the opposite direction of that. They may feel like, I don't know if I want to be associated with that, even though that is unfortunately their brand now. I see what you're saying, but I kind of get their hesitation on the other side. Like, I don't know if I want to be known for that, even though.
Yeah,
that's
no, that makes sense, especially as a mom, you know, and, you know, I'm just picturing Taylor's kids, you know, like when
10
they're
years
grown
down
up,
the road, and they're in high school. What are they going to hear? Yeah. It's tough.
At some point, you gotta it all comes back to caring about what people think.
And maybe it's an opportunity for them to kind of control the narrative to a degree, you know, if they were to do what you're saying and to kind of leverage it in the right way.
Right.
That might, you know, bode better for them. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, those kids are going to find out either way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's out there.
Yeah. It's so true.
So you got to take that narrative and pivot, and just keep it rolling.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a much better story in 10 years to be like, yeah, look what we built. Instead of like, yeah, it was stupid. Yeah. We had this really cool thing going, and then we just shot it in the face.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally. Then it was like,
she's already thrown an absolute grenade into her life. She might as well show the rebuilding process, I guess.
Exactly.
Totally.
Or throw 5 more grenades.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting too. I think that part of it is interesting, and I think that there's more grenades to come. And so just seeing the process of that, like you've already made yourself interesting, and that's half the battle. Right? That's probably 90% of the battle is getting people like, why am I watching this person? Mm-hmm. Oh, because they're interesting, or because I feel better than you know, all the things we talked about, and they built that already. And so now it's just a matter of like, okay, maintenance. It's like going to the gym, you know, like you work your ass off and then you just maintain. So I think, maybe they let the dust settle a little bit and they're able to see it in that way.
See, but you girls, I mean, I don't know the number, right? Let's say you squash it down to 5 or 6 of you, right? And it's like, make everyone a character. You kind of have like the lead character right now, but like you could easily build this so I have multiple characters, and it just like almost multi-level markets you right out in the world. And then you have so many different media outlets and so many different opportunities to make money. I mean, the influencer game, when you're up on the top, is really good. It's really, really lucrative. And it's like, take advantage of it. You know, you built it. You know what I mean? Why destroy it?
Absolutely. And why are any of us pretending like we're on social media for anything but that?
Right.
It's such a waste of time and such a waste. If you are not making money with it and you're not using it to your advantage to build a brand, why the hell are you on social media?
Yeah.
Literally just wasting your life
troll.
away.
Most people who are miserable in their own lives, that's what they want to do.
No, and I'm going to offend some people right now, but literally, what the fuck are you doing on Instagram and TikTok looking at everyone else's lives? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Go live your own life. Like, make your own. All these people that are, like, glorified, they all did something with their lives.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm like, if you're not going to do anything with
My
it.
perception on that has changed a little bit. I used to get really embarrassed when I'd see people, like, out in public, you know, filming themselves. And now I kind of admire that. Like, okay, you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
It used to be a cringy thing, and now it's like, well, at least you have the balls to try, you know?
Yeah.
Well, even me, dude. I mean, I've got a small following, right? We're like 700 people or something like that, you know, as of today. And it's like, I've consulted with so many people that have massive followings, right? In different businesses and stuff. And dude, when I look at the marketing power of that, I'm like, even, you know, Jimmy talked to me like a year or two ago, and he was like, dude, he goes, I visit countries, I do all this kind of stuff to make my social media interesting for people, you know, and whatever he does, he has his strategy, right? And in my world of like raising money in like my private equity fund, right? Like, it's actually really good to be able to control how people view me, right? In certain ways. And they go, oh yeah, I do want to do business with that guy because I like him. You know what I mean? Or like, I feel like I know him a little bit before I even meet him. It's just way easier to kind of, you know, like raise money or do deals or have people come to me and be like, hey, you're an investor, right? I need some money for this deal or whatever, you know? But like, if I had 2 million followers, like, dude, I mean, the power in that's like just, it's insane.
It's true.
It's insane.
Capitalize on the idiocy of the world.
Yeah.
Basically, you have a number in front of your name and they go, that guy knows what he's talking about.
Oh yeah. Oh, I tell a story about one of my friends. I'll leave her nameless, right? Because I love her to death. She literally got on Instagram and saw this hairstylist do a girl's hair to like silver, right? Well, she's a freaking dark brunette, right? Dude, it was something insane, like $600 a session. Dude, she made it like 5, 6, 7 sessions, and her hair was like freaking orange. And I'm like, yo, girl, I'm not gonna name. How many more times is it going to take? It's like, well, every time I go to Sebastian, you know, it takes blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, holy shit, how much does this cost to get the silver? And by the way, it's going to last 2 weeks before you have roots. And like, finally, she just ended it and dyed her hair brown. And then it kind of came back out. And she's like, I don't even know I did that. And it's like, because you like got on Instagram and thought this dude was like, I don't know, some famous hairstylist guy or chick or whatever, you know? And it's all because of Instagram.
Yep.
I mean, and dude, she dumped thousands. And it was just like, what? You know?
Oh, yeah. Are you a guilty Instagram ad buyer? Like, will you see random Instagram ads and go, oh, that's sick, I need that, and buy it?
No, and I'll tell you why. So I bought my wife some lingerie a few times, and then I get 7,000 ads on there for like lingerie, like shit lingerie. So it drives me bananas. So most of the time in my thing, it doesn't actually pull up anything I find interesting. Now, have I bought stuff off of there? Abso-freaking-lutely. And it's always after 10 o'clock, it seems. But the people that I like though, that are on Instagram, right? If they're promoting a product that I think is cool, I will buy it. Or if it's a friend of mine, I don't care what they promote, unless it's like they're a big time influencer and they're just promoting whatever their contract says. But like if, like for you example, if you came out with like a fruit water, right? I'd buy a case, guaranteed. You know, I just did it yesterday. One of my friends just released some saltwater mineral stuff from the Great Salt Lake that has electrolytes in it. So I got on and bought 2 cases, right? And it was cool because like, you know, like 2 or 3 hours later, he like texts me. He's like, dude, did you buy 2 cases of this stuff? He's like, I just barely launched it. And I was like, yeah, dude. Just want to support you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'll buy whatever you freaking put up on there. So to answer your question, yeah, I buy stuff off of there, but like it really I either have to love the person that's doing it or I have to be very captivated by what I'm buying.
Okay. Because as a marketer, that's an interesting concept because it's similar to what I was talking about earlier of like once you see the truth, it's all kind of a facade. Yeah. And so I feel like with marketing, you'd kind of be like, that's a shit product that they made to seem cool.
Yeah, like every supplement
Right.
ever been made.
Right.
Yeah. Or like some cream or something, you know, like I understand the backside of that. You know, I have friends that have companies that like they literally just like private label stuff, right? You know, if you want to have a pre-workout or you want to have an eye cream or you want to have a whatever, you know, and they make millions of dollars and it's like the exact same thing. It's actually very similar to like vodka, you know. And so in one of my businesses, you know, we private label for people and it really is, it's all marketing, right? You take a bottle of vodka, you change the bottle so it's pretty, however it matches that person, you know, and then they can actually put it out there. And, you know, some people can make it taste really, really good, you know, or they don't really care, or they, you know, there's just so many different things you can do with that. For example, The Rock, right? Like his tequila, it's all right. It's fine. It was the first company ever to do 1 million cases in 1 year. Like he will sell that business in 10 years, well, probably in 5 years, for like $10 billion.
Really?
Oh, dude. The growth in that is insane. I can't go too deep into who's really worried about that, but there are some major brands that are like, oh shit, he is literally taking over the entire tequila market. You know what I mean? And it's because he's an influencer. It's not because he's not because he's The Rock per se, or that he's a celebrity, right? There's tons of celebrities that hawk stuff, right? But The Rock is an actual influencer. He can get on there and be like, look at me, I'm eating 37 pancakes today. I'm going to wash it down with 2 shots of Terramana. And people are just like, I'm in, including myself. I flew to California when it was released and bought 4 bottles and brought them home. So I was like, I'm trying The Rock's tequila. We're going to see how good it is. And it's fine. You know what I mean? It's not terrible, but it's actually pretty good for what it is, for the price point. But yeah, so here's my tangent.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, my friends that are in that world, I mean, they can, some of these, a lot of them are girls that I know, right? They have 80, 90, 100 products that they sell. And the ones that are really good at it, you don't even know they're selling it to you, you know? And they make millions, absolute millions. And so, yeah, and it's all from social media.
It's crazy. We need a
When is your
product.
tequila coming out?
Should I do one?
Yes, you should.
What would I do?
What would you rather live in a cabin, or would you rather live at the beach?
Beach.
Then you should do rum.
Is rum, I feel like you need to stick in like the tequila vodka place though. Like, don't you feel like that's like rum is like a branching out?
No. So really it's the cost of you. Okay, when you ask me that question, I'm going to go to the back end, right? I'll let you market whatever you want. On the back end, I'm like, okay, cost per ounce. Where do we make the most money? Where's the most profitability, right? Tequila is actually expensive to bring in the United States and sell it here, cost per ounce wise, because you have to make it in Mexico and you have to import it, right? Rum, vodka, gin, even whiskey, we can make in the States. We can make them here in Utah. And we can have, we could have bottles made in like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? It's like the creative's ready and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And actually take it to market very, very quickly. And that's just a lower price per ounce. So on the backside, when we want to make you profitable, right? That's the reason why I would say that. Now, the reason why I say rum is, sugar cane. It's like at the beach. It's like all the, sex by the beach and Mai Tais and all that kind of stuff. That is what is actually kind of in that like personality of that. So you guys co-parent in multiple facets. How's that going?
Great. I mean, luckily we have on either side of it really, good co-parents. I mean, you take over, go.
Well, now I'm scared because he's like scared of offending people. No. I'm not afraid of offending people. Like anything I'd say right now, I'd say to your face. That's why I am the way that I am, because there's no time for bullshit. So for me, I'm just like, flat out, it's fine. The boys are they're in a very difficult stage, teenagers, and I felt bad about it at first. Like I'd be like, man, this is freaking hard, and I'd kind of feel bad and like vent to him about it. But then the more people I've talked to with teenagers who saw those teenagers from baby to teenagers, like they're their actual parent and they like have seen them through all the phases of their life, that you think you just have this compassion and like understanding and unconditional love towards them. They're like, no, they're little shitheads, So that's kind of brought a little comfort in me, because at first I'm like, I'm a terrible human being. Like I literally like get them out of my house. They are so disrespectful. I can't even believe, like, how are you raised? You're raised in a barn. Like, what is going on? How am I in this situation? And then talking to more parents, I'm like, oh, okay, of course I'm going to feel this way. First of all, I literally met them a couple years ago. So I only have that context of, like, them coming into puberty. And I don't have the little, like, I have a 5-year-old, so I know how it is, like, how they can be hard at times, but you have that context of, oh, when they were a baby, or, like, what they went through when they were 2, and, like, you know, she's been through a divorce, and so you have that compassion and that understanding for them, which he has with his boys, but I love also he'll be like, no, they're freaking hard. Like, right now is hard. And so that's helped me through it, because it has been so hard. Like, there's moments where I'm like, what am I doing? How am I 20? Like, I was 26 at the time. Like, how am I 26 and dealing with these problems? Like, I shouldn't be dealing with these issues right now. Like, this is a nightmare. Yeah. And so it was very difficult. I feel like I'm in a better place now where I'm just kind of like, okay, that is a very difficult, what's the word? Stage, a difficult stage of life. And I lack the context of them being this innocent, cute little boy, you know? And so, of course, it's going to be hard. So giving myself grace and, like, talking to other people and, like, talking to him and Angie about it, which they've been great. Like, we'll be on the phone with Angie, and I'm like, Cole is being a little shit, you know? And it's not like, that's my son. They're just like, yeah, I'm sorry. Like, he is, you know, which is helpful, because then it allows a safe space, you know? I feel like that's what you need in this scenario, because there is a lot of emotion. There's a lot of things going on. And so if there isn't that safe space of being able to be like, no, this is freaking hard, it makes it 10 times harder. So I do appreciate Angie and Chris in that, because we have a text thread, and there'll be days where we're just like, Cole right now, or Rome right now, and like, oh my gosh, and we just kind of vent about it. And Cole and Rome, if you're watching this, we love you, but there is hard stages, you know, there's hard things that come with it, with every stage, right? But it is nice to be able to just be like on the same page as far as like, hey, this is difficult, or like, hey, I loved this about it, and like sharing those experiences, you know, because it is a very weird situation, you know, like, it's not normal to be friends with your ex-husband and your ex-wife, and to have your current spouses be friends, and like knowing that you like even had sex with that person and you're in the same room is weird as hell. You know, it's what? Like, huh?
You did?
She means Blake. Oh.
Like, that's a weird concept, you know?
So what's it like in your head when you think about this, right? Like, how did you feel about becoming a stepmom when you were engaged?
I didn't know what it entailed, to be honest.
Was it just kind of like something this was going to happen no matter what, and then like once you're in it kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it was the type of thing where I'm thinking, oh, I've seen movies like this, and I'm not going to be the big bad stepmom. I'm just going to be the cool stepmom that buys them the food that they want, washes their football jerseys, and I'm thinking, you know, like Hollywood. Yeah. It's not Hollywood. Don't do it. Don't fall for the trap.
Deeply regrets that decision.
I do. I'll be straight up honest. I do regret it. And this is why. I regret, for my situation, and this is just situational, and maybe it's not this way for everyone. And I told him this the other day. I said, if I would have known how hard this would have been, or that this was going to be, I would have taken more time to heal from my divorce. I would have definitely taken more time to be by myself, to let my daughter process everything, and to be there for just her. Because it was a very, like, I felt torn. Like, my daughter had a very hard time adjusting to Bret, and is just now kind of getting into a groove with Rome and Cole, and I feel like I threw that on her way too quick. It was very, like, I found myself getting frustrated, being like, just be nice to them. Like, and I'm like, looking back, wouldn't that be so weird to go from you have a mom and a dad, and that's your mom and dad, and then all of a sudden you're split, your dad's in a new house, and then you have 2 random ass teenage boys that are causing a ruckus every day, and then a random ass dude in your life. Yeah. And it makes me sad. Like, I get emotional thinking about it. I'm like, that's so chaotic, and that's so confusing. And I'm like, I was in such a survival mode, and we didn't have a good, like, start to our relationship. It was pretty rocky and just very like a lot of jealous things, a lot of unknowns. And so it created jealousy and insecurity and, you know, a lot of things that we've come so far from, but just my focus was not where it should have been. And I regret that.
Well, see, I think with your daughter, maybe I'll give a little bit of advice I shouldn't be giving because I have no idea, right? But my gut feeling kind of says like, if you fast forward 10 years and you guys are doing what you're doing with like keeping all the relationships good, right? Because they're not toxic, right? Like you don't have the I hate my ex kind of stuff going on, which is so weak-minded and just bullshit, right? I think in 10 years, it's like when she looks back, she might be like, I don't think she'll remember the hard parts. I guess is what I'm saying. I think she's going to look and be like, dude, I've got these 2 older freaking brothers now that are like super protective of me potentially, right? I mean, she's going to be going through her teenage years and they're going to be early 30s, late 20s, right? They might be married and it's like she's going to have like all these couples and individuals that like are her actual family that really do care about her. Not to take away from any of the hard stuff.
No,
right?
totally. I love that perspective.
Yeah. I kind of see that with a lot of different things, you know, like if you're really good to people, like you don't really see it for a long time, you know?
Right.
And that's not to say that things aren't hard, you know? I mean, I've had friendships that have blown up. We've got back together as friends and we're still friends. And like, you almost have to experience the bad with the good to even like appreciate the good.
Absolutely.
I mean, you guys on the same page?
No, that's so helpful because I did feel stuck the other day explaining everything. I'm like, man, did I date enough? Was I alone enough? Did I put everything on to Maud too quickly? Was I a jackass to the boys? Like because of all this stuff going on, and it's like, well, maybe that was necessary, you know? And like, if you think about that, the things you're really passionate about, it's not just wake up and I'm passionate about this every day. It's like, there are hard moments and there are things that you hate about it. And that's what kind of brings the joy in it, right? And that's any situation. So yeah, I really like that take on that. That's helpful. It makes me feel less stuck. Because there are times where I get stuck and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm 28. Did I just turn 28? Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, sorry, I'm 20. I just turned 20. And I wake up going, I have to go to a football game tonight. Like, that's my day today. I'm going to a high school senior kids football game.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I get a hot dog and some terrible nachos and a Diet Coke.
Not on your 75 hard. Right?
Not on my 75 hard. You get to enjoy your life. I'm in hell right now.
Yeah, no. So it is weird. But not to go too off on a tangent there, to answer your question, the co-parenting has been great and not to be expected. Everyone says it, but like, I think it's helpful to hear that like it hasn't gone swimmingly. There's been moments where I get so pissed and he gets frustrated and we're not all on the same page and I'm sitting there trying to control the situation. Can we get on the same page? What the hell is going on? Why didn't you do that? Why'd you drop the ball here? Yeah. I feel like the thing that's helped me the most in the situation, and then you can take over because I'm absolutely dominating this topic, but the thing that's been helpful for me is just like surrendering, being like, okay, what do I like? Focus on what I can control, let the rest go. Because at the end of the day, and this could come off wrong, but it's not to say that I don't care about Rome and Cole, but at the end of the day, they aren't my kids and their outcome isn't on me. And so that's helped me just be like, at first it was like, what are they doing on their phones? Why are they up so late? What's going on? Why are they eating crappy? And at the end of the day, I'm like, that is not on me. And it's a beautiful program to be able to just surrender to the control and just say, it's not something I have to worry about. And so I'll focus on the things I can control. If it affects Maud or affects my life, then I say something. If it doesn't, I go, welcome to our home. I hope you feel loved. I hope you feel safe. And that's as far as it goes, just for my mental health and my sanity.
Yeah, no, I think I think what you're saying is vulnerable and honest, right? And that's why people will kind of attach to that, right? The thing that I want to say is like, it's also insanely admirable that you guys will keep good relationships with your exes, you know, like it really is. There's so many people that they build that hate and that like this and whatever broke you up, whatever. I mean, I have no idea why you guys broke up with your spouses, which is awesome. Right? I mean, I don't need to know. Like, you know, you guys have moved on, you're doing your things. I think it's very wise to be like, yeah, I'm an influence in these kids' life. I'm not their parents. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that actually translates all the way through the relationship to where Angie doesn't feel that you are, when they go to their house, like you're trying to take over as mom. You know what I mean? I think which is probably why you guys have a good relationship, because you know that you'll surrender to her and just be like, Angie, what do you want me to do? Like, what standards should we keep here or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
she might in the beginning. She might have felt that way in the beginning because it was definitely a new thing for me. I'm the first to admit if I was wrong, and I think in the beginning I definitely was like, I was scared as hell. I'm thinking I have two growing boys in my house. I have a hard time with boys as it is. So I'm thinking I got two men in the house, and then I've got a little 3-year-old girl, and I'm thinking protect that little girl. And I'm thinking these boys are freaking, like, who knows what they could do, and they got their friends coming around and doing weird shit. And I'm just like, protect the innocence, So yeah. I will admit I did a lot of things wrong in the beginning, and it was all out of fear. So being able to let that fear go and knowing that things work out, and just being like, you know what? Do the best you can. At the end of the day, everyone goes through hard things. There's not one person that will go through life and not experience some trauma or some bad thing in their life. And you try to mitigate that as much as you can, but you can't control everything, and that's no way you want to live, and you don't want your kids to live that way. So I definitely feel like in the beginning I did not do a good job at I probably stepped on some toes for sure.
Yeah, but that's where the forgiveness will come in, and later you can just love and influence. You know what I mean?
Right.
And those boys will need you one day. You know what I mean? Might be early 20s, might be when they're married, and that they might go through some stuff. I mean, it could be years and years and years from now, and but you'll have fostered that relationship now. Mm-hmm. When you agree, Bret?
I agree. Yeah, I would argue to say they need her now too. And you say that you overstepped, and I'm sure you did in some ways, but at least from my perspective, you did it with good intentions. I think that was, at least for Angie, I think that was the way it was received. I never got the feeling from her that you were like overstepping in any way. So you meant well. You screwed up a lot, but you meant well. And the boys love you. And I would say that they need you now too, and you're there for them now.
I have a special relationship and a unique relationship with each of them.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they don't frustrate me, but there's definitely a special bond and relationship and trust there. Like Cole will tell me things that he'll be like, don't tell my dad. And I'm like, thank you. I love that. Like, I love that you trust me with that, and I'm learning to actually not tell him because he's my best friend. And so I get excited and I'm like, Cole told me this, but he doesn't want me to tell you, but I'm getting better about that. There's things you don't know that Cole has told me and I will never tell you. Yes.
Oh, really?
Because I want that, like that trust in that relationship, and that's important to me. And I feel like that's like the number one thing as a kid. And if I'm back in their shoes, I'm thinking that was everything, to know that you could go to someone and be completely open and honest with them and know that they would maintain that trust and relationship. That's literally
he thinks
everything.
You're cool. I'm the dork. So in his eyes,
it's flipped though. You're the cool one. I'm the dork.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And then to switch gears, our relationship with my ex-husband is on another level of just he's our best friend.
Yeah.
We hang out with him frequently. We invite him to dinners. We're just in Idaho with him. We go on trips. I go over to his house and literally just walk in the door and plop on the couch and hang out. We're really close with him.
Yeah,
so that's a different dynamic.
And his family is family too.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very weird. Went out to dinner with
Blake's
them.
not remarried, right?
No.
Yeah.
But when I first met Blake's dad, it was a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. Down in California, we went to dinner with his family, and it was odd that it was just absolutely, it felt like I was with my own family. Almost upon sitting down at dinner, it was like a minute into the conversation, I was just like, oh, this is my family. Really, really kind of strange, but they're just
and they felt the same way too about Bret. I had just left their son. I don't even think the divorce was official. And so it's in this awkward time of oh no, at that point it had been.
It was, yeah.
Okay. So our divorce had only been official for 6 months, I think. And so I'm introducing my new boyfriend, and meanwhile their son's going through a divorce, and he's not there at this time, but we're sitting down to dinner and it's okay, this makes sense.
So are they always good to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're awesome people. I definitely had my things. Girls always do, Yeah. Mother-in-law, sister-in-law. It's a hard dynamic. Girls are hard. It's why I have a lot of guy friends. I didn't have a lot of girlfriends growing up. It was just...
Your relationship with them is almost better now, and you're almost closer. And the dynamics change a little bit where you're not...
under a microscope.
Yeah.
And feeling like I need to do things a certain way. My relationship with my ex is very interesting because it never felt like we were married. So it was very like, this is my role, this is your role. And if we ever stepped out of those roles, it was just kind of like, well, what are you doing? Get back in line. There was no room really for like the passion and the just how our relationship is. It's very passionate. It's very like emotionally charged in a good way. Like, I feel like we find the time to have the logic and everything, and that's how my ex and I were. It was very logical, not a whole lot of room for emotion, which I would much prefer the other way around, because it felt more like a business thing. There's plenty of room for business relationships. You have one shot at like a romantic, passionate relationship, and that's your spouse, and it shouldn't feel like every other relationship, in my opinion. And so for me, I felt like I was settling, and I think if he's honest with himself, he was settling as well. And so there was that, like, because I'm so authentic and I don't really hide my emotions, I think that the family kind of sensed that. So it did cause a little bit of tension through the years. Yeah. So now that that's not there, we see them now and it's like, oh my gosh, like they're literally like my family, and like there's none of that weird awkwardness. It's just like, I don't know, better than ever, which is interesting, but I love it. Like, we all just were down in California. It was their family reunion, and it was my daughter's birthday, and so we like crashed the whole thing. We were just there, like up late at night playing.
They're gracious hosts. Yeah, we stayed till we may have overstayed, but
no, but they love it. Like, truly, they are. Anytime my ex-husband's dad is in town, he's like, "Where's Bret?" Like, we'll sit there talking to Bret, like, just loves Bret, thinks he's so interesting, thinks his life's interesting, loves talking to him, and it's just really cool. So that, if I were to compare the two, like our situation with Angie and then our situation with Blake, it's night and day. Not that like it's bad with Angie, but we just literally like we're still so close with Blake and his family, and like still do so much with them. Whereas I feel like it's the normal amicable divorce on this side. So not bad. It's just not like we're gonna call each other up and hang out every day. We do go to parties and stuff. I mean, shoot, we've gone to 4th of July over at their house, and in the beginning,
I would say it's a little bit more beyond just like typical cordial divorce situation. Like, we'll see them at different events, and usually people won't even interact. Like, we have they're a little bit. Chris is a little bit more. Reserved, with that, which I respect that boundary, but like, yeah, I think with Blake's side of the family, it's a little bit more, it's definitely more open and like, yeah, we're hanging with them.
Yeah. I think it's because, I don't know, because it's not like you would go to things before you and I dated. You wouldn't go to parties and
no,
I think that was when we started dating. And they saw kind of how me and Blake did things. They were kind of like, oh, yeah, you guys come, But it still feels a little unnatural. Like, you know that feeling where you're kind of like, I shouldn't be here? That's kind of the feeling. And it's not their fault necessarily. It's just the boundary they have, that they've kind of set. And just that it is abnormal. Like, to expect that, like, you would be the way that we are, that's not the norm. Like, I hope that as we have that relationship, it's an example to people moving forward that you can have that. But it's not abnormal that we feel that way in those situations.
But I also think that the dynamic with Blake's family, it's unique in that, like, our personalities just
all vibe.
We would hang with them no matter what.
Totally.
And so, yeah, independent of any kind of like familial tie or marriage.
Yeah. Like, he I don't know, you can see, even though the differences with Blake and I, and like the things that you're like, oh yeah, I can see where I didn't work out, you can also see why I married Blake.
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas on the other side, I don't it's weird to me that him and the boys will even say this too. Like, I can't even believe him and Angie were married because they're so different and their personalities are just so different that I'm like, I would love to be a fly on the wall for one day of that relationship because to me, I'm like, that seems so strange that they were married. Like, there's just not a whole lot of common ground. There's not a whole lot of like, when they converse, it's just not as natural as it is on this side, you know? Yeah. So yeah, I think personalities play a huge role in that as well. Because sure. Chris is also really reserved, so then I think it almost makes Angie a little bit more reserved, where she wouldn't otherwise be. Is that right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Well, she's got to kind of follow the boundaries that Chris wants to do.
Sure.
Too,
yeah.
Right?
Everyone's
totally. And
you're all tangoing for a while, right?
What's that?
You're all doing the tango, trying to figure out how everyone wants to dance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So no, that's
some awkward steps along the way.
I just know from a third party, man, it's pretty cool. You guys keep on making it work.
Oh, thanks, man.
So,
yeah,
it's a good example for people.
It's a work in progress.
Of course, till we're gone, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You're closer to that since you turned 50.
I know. I still got like 5 lifetimes, but who's counting?
Oh, seriously. Wait till you hit 40, man. That's when you're like, freak, I might be halfway done. I really got to live.
Oh, you're still young.
I still feel young. It's a mindset, right? That's what the old people say.
Oh, yeah.
Numbers
it is.
Mindset and how many cliff jumps and how many 75 hards you do.
Oh, it'll be one.
One and done.
One. As long as I keep my habits, it'll be one. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, hey, guys, end of the podcast. I want you 2 minutes of your best advice you can possibly give. I want you to go first, Bret.
Me first? Okay. 2 minutes of best advice. Well, I think I'll lead by saying, as somebody that's made innumerable mistakes in my life, to not allow yourself to be defined by the mistakes that you've made. You're not your mistakes. And give yourself the grace to understand that you're a human being. You're going through, the whole purpose of life is, it's a learning process. And so, man, if I define myself by my mistakes, I feel pretty bad about who I was sitting here today. But I think that's probably the first piece. Second piece is I think I'm still learning, and that's to be, unapologetically yourself. It's exhausting to put on a facade, which I tend to do sometimes. And she's been fantastic for me in that way, because that's, as you've seen here today, I mean, she doesn't mince words. What you see is what you get. And so, I mean, I think being authentic and allowing yourself to understand that, yeah, you're going to make mistakes along the way, but that's okay. It's part of the process of life. But also at the same time, to try to, aspire, to be not just allow yourself like, this is me, take it or leave it, but to aspire to be better and to be more refined, to be a better person. And so I think the magic of allowing yourself to know that you don't have to be defined by your mistakes, it gives you the freedom to aspire for greater things with the understanding that you're going to fail along the way, and that's okay. I talk to this about my boys every day and with their football practice. One of the reasons I love football so much is because it's a microcosm of life, and it's the ultimate, team sport, but you can learn so many things from it. And the thing I'm trying to teach both of my boys right now is go out, and if you throw 100 interceptions today, who cares? At least you're out there making the effort. You're becoming, if you treat today's practice as an opportunity to get better, and you don't worry about the mistakes that you might make, it's more likely that you're not going to make mistakes if you're trying to, let me say this another way. It's more likely, you're more likely to make a mistake if you're focusing on not making a mistake. In other words, if I'm telling you don't think of a pink elephant right now, all you're thinking of is a pink elephant. So my first college snap at BYU, leading up to this, I had never fumbled a snap, ever. High school, junior high, elementary, never fumbled a snap. It's the second game of the season, my freshman year. We're playing against Colorado State. First Mountain West Conference game. It's nationally televised. And all my job is, it's at the end of the game. We're clearly ahead. All I have to do is go out and hand off the ball, kill the clock, right? And I am about to run onto the field. We just called the play. And Norm Chow, who was the offensive coordinator at the time, grabs me as I'm going on the field and goes, wait, Bret, hold on. Don't fumble the snap. And I'm like, yeah, of course, don't fumble the snap. What are you talking about? And I said out loud to him, don't tell me not to fumble the snap. I was like, I'm not going to fumble the snap. Get out there. Sure enough, red 88. Don't fumble the snap. Red 88. Don't fumble the snap. Oh, shit, I fumbled the snap. on national television. So let that be a lesson. That which you resist persists. So I think that was longer than 2 minutes, and it was just a jumbled thing of a jumbled mess. But those are some of the credos.
No, I'm sitting here thinking I was literally just going to say, be kind. That was really good advice. I'm inspired.
The end.
Well, then to piggyback off of that, I'll say 2 pieces of advice. First is relationship advice, and it's, you can't mitigate everything in a life partner, but having gone through divorce and having been in multiple relationships amongst both of us, I think it's really important to marry someone who makes you better and that creates a space where there can be growth and progression. That's why we're here. So that's like number one. Just listening to you talk, I'm like, I'm so grateful I'm married to you. Like beyond the looks, which we've touched on multiple times, and beyond like the obvious things with Bret, he really is just such a great life partner. And just thinking about how hard the transition has been from being married to divorced to in a new relationship and taking on the kids and the exes and all that stuff, like I couldn't do it with anyone else. Like we are so equally yoked and just such a good match. And I think I'm using this opportunity because I know there's so many people that have struggled with this, of feeling like, oh, well, yeah, it's okay on paper, so I should get married, or we've dated for a while, so I should get married. And I'm here to tell you, like, do not settle. Like, do not settle for anything less than feeling like you can authentically be yourself, and that person allows you to, gives you grace and allows you to grow and is a good sounding board. Like, I know I can go to Bret for literally anything and be like, I'm feeling this way, or I'm stuck here, and he's just going to listen. And he has incredible advice, as you just heard, but most of the time he is just a good listener. And that is so helpful for me in my growth and my progression. So who you marry matters, and don't settle. Second thing is just, again, going back to remembering that, like, we all are on a floating rock and none of it really matters. Like, piggybacking off of you just being authentic and just being yourself and tapping into what that really means, and just realizing that you're on your own path, you're on your own journey, and no one's opinion besides your own and God matters, literally. So do what feels authentic to you, and you can't go wrong with that. That's my advice.
Good advice.
No, perfect.
I just fell in love with you a little bit more somehow.
Oh gosh, here we go. Kiss. No, honestly, guys, thanks for coming on my podcast.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thanks for listening to the President McCormack Podcast, brought to you by McCormack Foundation, Saxton Fund, ADP Lemco, and Professional Floor Systems. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and keep up with Mark on Instagram @President McCormack.